We have to fight. We have to beat you for it.
And if Aaron Gordon having the game of his life Friday too, right? Like, Caleb Martin, you've been prepared to be the P.J. Tucker. Like, you got to step all the way into this one in this do-or-die moment.
Yeah, it just feels like watching that game 4. The Heat, because they're the less talented team, have zero margin for error.
It's true.
There were moments in the third quarter where you're like, oh, look at this. The lead's 8. It's about at 6. Here it comes. And Adebayo turns it over. Someone does something. You're like, well, you can't make any mistakes against this Nuggets team. It's a lot. Monica McNutt, ladies and gentlemen, ESPN basketball analyst. You can see her on such hit shows as This Just In.
Yes.
2 p.m. Eastern here on ESPN. Handsome host. Monica, thank you as always.
You didn't even compliment Monica. She's sitting right here next to you.
Monica, come on, because you have eyes.
Compliment yourself
She doesn't
first,
need the compliments.
Then compliment our guest.
Look at this in the yellow outfit.
I just got to get to the end of the month.
This is,
Man,
ma'am, handsome host. Can't say handsome.
well,
guest.
not even
like,
handsome guest.
It falls
Would you
on
like to be
deaf
referred to
ears.
as handsome?
I mean,
Don't try to lean into
structure.
that.
Is
Don't try to lean into that, Miss Q.
Monica knows she looks good. Everyone stop.
This is
Listen,
true.
Heat fans, you've been very quiet today. Plus, could CP3 be headed to the Golden State Warriors?
Oh,
what?
my.
KJM.
There's only one best, and we want you to decide. Voting is now open for the 23rd annual Best of the Brazos Valley. Tell us who you like the best in dining, shopping, wellness, services, and everything that makes this the best place to live. Vote online now at bestofthebrazos.com. Thanks in part to our sponsors, Texas Children's Pediatrics, 1860 Italia, Jake's Bakery, Brown Shuttle, and Hospice Brazos Valley. Voting closes July 5th. You only get one vote, so make it count at bestofthebrazos.com.
1, 2.
I'm in love with a man named Rudy. I'm okay with that. He knows exactly what I want. He keeps me coming back. Cooks breakfast, lunch, and dinner for me. Does the dishes too. I'm in love with a man named Rudy. Last name Barbecue. It sure is easy to fall in love with Rudy's tasty oak smoked barbecue.
Next in line.
Texas Document Solutions.
It happens a lot. Local businesses getting fed up with their current document imaging vendor and switching to sharp copier printers from Texas Document Solutions. Nathan Kerr, owner, president of Kerr Surveying, had enough with his previous vendor.
We just had so many breakdowns. They were not very helpful. It really slowed us down.
Well, Nathan, the obvious question is, how are things now with Sharp from Texas Document Solutions?
I have zero problems with Texas Document Solutions. Everything has always gone right.
Texas Document Solutions. Better technology, better pricing, better customer care.
They've taken care of us for 4 years. Texas Document Solutions is 100% reliable, and the equipment's great.
If you're getting less than 100% from your document imaging vendor, switch to Sharp Copier printers from Texas Document Solutions. It's easy to do. Just call 979-775-5500.
Texas Document Solutions.
979-775-5500.
Over 50,000 police officers are assaulted on the job each year, leading to injuries and death. This is the reality they deal with when making contact with the public. Another reality is that if someone doesn't comply with a lawful order or uses force against them, police may have to use sufficient force in response to obtain compliance. Use of force is always ugly. Nobody likes it, especially police, and nobody knows how it will turn out. Spread the word. For de-escalation to work, both parties must de-escalate. And de-escalation isn't necessary if there is no escalation. Help police by not escalating. Don't attack or try to disarm an officer. Whether it's getting asked a question, getting a citation, or getting arrested, don't argue, don't resist, don't flee. After the encounter has been resolved is the time to address any complaints. Comply now, complain later. Keep everybody safe. This message brought to you by the National Police Association. To learn more about how to help law enforcement accomplish its goals, visit nationalpolice.org.
He loves our community. From the high school sports update to the mascot of the week. Listen in to Louie, weekdays from 11 to 2. This is KCNE College Station Bryan.
From WTAW, I'm Chelsea Reber with a news update on The Zone. College Station Police is asking for information related to 2 weekend reports of gunfire where no one was hit and no arrests have been made. One was last night at the Halston Apartments, formerly known as Laurel Ridge at Taro and Spring Loop. And Saturday night, a fight in a hookah restaurant and bar moved outside and led to gunfire in the parking lot of the Park Place Plaza at Texas and Southwest Parkway. Bryan police seized during the search of a car $8,000 of what officers believe is powder cocaine, crack cocaine, Adderall that contained methamphetamine, Xanax, ecstasy, oxycodone, and almost 4 pounds of marijuana. That led to the arrest of 35-year-old Jazare Johnson of Bryan, someone in the BPD arrest report who was seen moving items in and out of the car. Johnson was released from his 21st visit to the Brazos County Jail in 18 years after posting bonds totaling $72,000. A new superintendent for College Station ISD schools could be named later today. CSISD board members could select a sole finalist during a special meeting that begins at noon. An undisclosed number of candidates were interviewed during 5 days of special meetings. When a sole finalist is named, there is a 21-day waiting period before the hiring becomes official. Today's agenda also includes hiring 6 assistant principals and making changes in the district's stipends for special education positions. Brazos County commissioners expressed no opposition to the future renovation of the county's administration building. Purchasing agent Charles Went says results of a feasibility study include turning the 1-floor sanctuary area of the former church into 2 floors. Much of the first floor would be a multi-purpose room.
You'd be able to seat 150 people in just chairs. We would have a computer training room to handle 40 people at tables with computers. That would take potentially the place of the current IT room that they have at the IT building.
The second floor would be reserved for future development. For more news, go to WTAW.com. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
Ground Shuttle is the Brazos Valley's premier transportation provider, well known for frequent and reliable rides to the Houston airports. Did you know that Ground Shuttle also offers private car service and charter service? For game day or any day, you can book any vehicle in their fleet to accommodate your group size and needs, from luxury sedans to full-size shuttles. It's the hassle-free way to get your group to sporting events and concerts, corporate meetings and dinners, and evening out, and the airport too. Learn more at groundshuttle.com. Ground Shuttle, let us do the driving.
We're here with Jackson Rollo from Rollo Insurance. And Jackson, you guys have been around for a long time. You're the very best at what you do. But I ask you, why Rollo Insurance?
Well, we've been growing recently with over 45 offices in multiple states. But we haven't lost who we are. We're still super focused on being hyper-local and involved in the communities in which you're going to find a Rollo Insurance office. And we offer products like home, auto, life, health, and business insurance from some of the top carriers in our industry.
You name it, they do it. Visit RolloInsurance.com.
I'm Sean Burnett with your Aggie Sports Minute on The Zone. This update is brought to you by Hilco Metal Roofing and Supply. Call 936-825-0500 or click hillcosupply.com. At the NCAA Track and Field Championship over the weekend, the Aggie men's 4x400-meter squad earned a 5th-place finish. The Texas A&M women's team finished 5th overall at the competition, claiming their 4th straight top 5 finish. That gives Coach Pat Henry a total of 20 top 5 finishes in his time at Texas A&M. Good news for A&M women's tennis as head coach Mark Weaver announced the addition of sophomore transfer Nicole Kieran from the University of Texas to next year's roster. She earned Big 12 Player of the Year and Freshman of the Year honors following her outstanding collegiate debut campaign for the Longhorns. The sophomore from Israel joins the Aggies following a decorated rookie season. Kieran was named to the All-Big 12 Singles First Team, Big 12 All-Freshman Team, Big 12 All-Tournament Team, and was awarded Big 12 Individual Champion accolades for the #1 singles. Adding to her long list of conference awards, Kieran was also named the Intercollegiate Tennis Association's Texas Regional Rookie of the Year. Texas A&M Men's Tennis Hall of Fame inductee Austin Krajicek won the first Grand Slam title of his career following a dominant performance in the final of the French Open doubles tournament Saturday. And that's your Aggie Sports Minute, brought to you by Hilco Metal Roofing and Supply. On The Zone, I'm Sean Burnett.
Each week on the Louie Bellina Show, we go in the pit with barbecue pit master Bryce Jones. In the Pit, brought to you by Dixie Tire Company. Need a certain brand of custom wheels, auto accessories, truck lift kits? You need a flat tire repaired, tire and wheel rotation, or more? It's Dixie Tire Company. Sure, we talk a little barbecue, but we talk maroon and white, Astros, and more. It's in the Pit each week on the Louie Bellina Show with barbecue pit master Bryce Jones.
If I'm going to do this, I'll need my news team at my side.
News team, assemble!
Howdy, Aggieland. Welcome to the SEC.
Our program will be built on 4 principles in which I talk about all the time: toughness, effort, discipline, and pride.
Dang it! I'm going to have to buy that boy cream cone.
Now I'm distracted on my point. What were we talking about?
It's bullcrap. All I care about is winning. Show me the dang baby.
You do it till they do it right, and then you do it till they can't do it wrong.
Go get him. Why are you dancing around? Eat him like he's a steak.
He fits what TexAgs radio is about. He fits into what the listeners are going to want. He's a pro on every level.
It's Nuno and the crew on TexAgs Radio. Right here on Sports Radio 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. The Zone.
Hey, hit records on my demo. Did y'all boys not get the memo?
Hey, good morning, Aggieland. It's 8:06 here on a Monday morning, June the 12th, 2023. No Nuno. Richard Zane here in the host chair, filling in for Poppy, who's taking some much-needed R&R. This is TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, episode 3054. I believe that's what Nick Savage and the crew tell me. And you heard Nuno and the crew. No Nuno, the crew definitely is here. Nuno's on vacation, but we got 2 members of the team back from the vacation list. Olin Buchanan to my left, back in the Rollo Insurance Studio for the first time in how many days? And Olin, you're sporting a little bit more of a tan than when you left.
Yeah, well, I was outside a lot in Florida.
Yeah.
Did not get in the water as much as you would have thought, as much as I would have thought.
That is surprising because I know you are very much a beach and ocean guy.
Well, first of all, I like to surf, right? Not
Really?
to surf. I have tried surfing. I've actually done it.
I never have.
But I like being in the waves.
Okay.
Well, when you're in the Keys, there are no waves.
I didn't know that.
Because it's a reef, a barrier, a coral reef is around it, and it breaks down. So it's more like a lagoon type of thing. It's more like a lake.
Okay.
And that's fine. So I thought we were going to spend our last day in Fort Lauderdale. I thought, okay, well, there's a great beach there. But they had something going on, I don't know, with a lot of seaweed, heavy seaweed, not on the beach, in the water. It was just like a film over the water. I mean, people were still getting in it. They'd fight through the seaweed and get a little bit deeper. But I'm like, nah, I don't want to do that. So spent a lot of time walking, a lot of time eating, even some drinking, and sometime in the resort pools and in the sun. It was a fun time. We had a great time.
Good. I'm glad you guys had a fun time. And what was the best thing you ate? That's the biggest question, the best question, most important question.
Well, we stopped on our way down to Key West in Key Largo.
Okay.
At this place that, had it not come recommended, I never would have stopped there, called the Hobo Cafe on Key Largo. And they had a shrimp bruschetta. And it was amazing. It was, do you like bruschetta?
I mean, yeah, I like shrimp.
Okay.
I know you love shrimp.
Yes. So it was bruschetta, but with a tasty big shrimp incorporated into it.
And this is the Hobo Cafe where?
In Key Largo.
Okay.
So that was really good. Of course, had the key lime pie.
Yeah.
And
how many slices?
Well, we had 3 slices, but they were all 3 different kinds.
Okay.
And here's what I've learned. Some things, if you have something that's a classic, you got to stick with it. Don't try to make it better. Some people are going to like it. I was told by a friend of mine, hey, you got to have the chocolate dipped key lime pie. So they have, key lime pies. Mm-hmm. They dip it in chocolate like a Dairy Queen cone, right? No, I mean, it's okay, but it took away from the actual awesomeness of the key lime pie, because it just added. And then we were in marathon, which was awesome, by the way. And we went.
Did you run a marathon?
I did not.
Did you walk a marathon?
No. Well, I might have over the course of,
but yeah, you still came back feeling a little heavier.
They had fried key lime pie.
Ooh.
And I had a guy that I'd met at the resort, and he said, "You've got to have the fried. It's amazing. It's just." So we tried it.
Meh.
Was it good? I mean, it's good, but now some things, the key lime pie, its awesomeness is in its simplicity. Don't try to make it better.
Is
right?
key lime pie your favorite kind of pie?
No. I like pecan. I like good old Texas pecan pie with a big scoop of vanilla ice cream on it. But you know what? It was kind of like I wish I could think of the actual. You know what? Think of the fried key lime pie or the chocolate dipped key lime pie as one of those. I can't think of the actual individual now. But, she's awesome. She's beautiful. But then she starts saying, I want to get these lips. And they get these lips that look like those plastic candy lips that you used to have that made, or Michael Jackson. He's a good looking guy. Well, then he tried to improve it by doing all this stuff and he ended up looking like, like a mannequin.
Mm-hmm.
When you got something that works, just let it work. Don't try to. Sometimes you try to improve it. You just mess it up.
Understood. He's Olin Buchanan. This is the Go
Hour.
I'm
not. I don't try
He's back.
I don't try to make myself better.
No.
It's good the way it is.
You are traditional key lime pie. If you were to be chocolate dipped or fried, I don't think I'd want any part of that.
Yeah, they try to do the chocolate dip here and make me and fry me here at TexAgs from time to time. You got to do that. Hey, I'm just going to be me. It's classic.
You are the classic. This is the Go Hour presented by by the Warehouse at CC Creation. Sorry, messed up that read already. 0-for-1 on my guest hosting duties. Over in the News and Social Center this morning, also back from vacation, we've got Kay Nagley. Good morning, Kaylin.
Good morning, guys. How are y'all? I literally feel like I haven't been here in forever.
Well, how long were you out? Where did you go?
So I was on a cruise for 8 days, which is not for the faint of heart. It was a little long, and then I went home for a couple days as well. So I was gone for like a week and a half at least.
So she complained about being on vacation.
No.
Did you notice that, Colin?
It was great. I had a great time. It was just long. I don't like being away from home
I'm still trying to get my head around literally gone forever.
Yeah.
That's
Okay, do we know what the word literal means?
I know. I need to get back on my game. I've been out of commission for a second.
Yes, please do get back on your game because you got some publishing shifts later today and on this week and weekend. So, okay, I'm glad you're back from vacation. Glad you had a great time. I heard you were in the Keys at the same time as Olin. You guys didn't hang out and have a few mojitos?
I was. I didn't know it, though. I did not know he was going to the Keys, and then Dalton informed me he was there whenever I was there, but I was only there for a day.
Missed opportunity for another TexAgs meetup.
I know.
Sloppy Joe's on a Saturday night is a great time.
What does that mean?
It's a bar.
Okay.
They have a great band.
We passed by there.
They had a great band. Everybody in the place was singing. I think I heard about 200 people singing Living on a Prayer all together.
Living on a Prayer, which is a song that Ryan Browninger believes is overrated and one of Bon Jovi's worst.
Well, I would respectfully disagree. No, I
Obviously.
wouldn't even
And I
respectfully.
wouldn't even respectfully disagree.
It's Broniger. Well, what does he know?
Disrespectfully disagree with anything that comes out of that man's mouth.
But anyway, there were like 200 people all, maybe more than that, singing that song all together. It was a great time. Old people like me were there. Yeah. Sloppy Joe's on a Saturday night. It's a good time.
So if you're ever in the Keys, Sloppy
I had a
Joe's.
mojito there.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So as long as I've known you, Olin, you've always been I'll have one margarita a year on Cinco de Mayo. And now that has changed.
Well, I was on vacation, and I still don't drink very much. But the idea was when my son was born, I stopped drinking, except for that one margarita, which basically where I would go, it was pretty much a glorified Slurpee, right? So now he's in college. My work, most of it has been done. I can relax some of my rules that I set for myself. So if I'm on vacation, I'll have a cocktail here and there.
Well, you're not the type of person that needs to drink to have a good time, because
it's true.
Been on trips with you where you are the good time.
Well, and I always say, and I know she's probably listening, but Irma drinks enough for both of us.
Oof, what an indictment.
She always had a safe ride home.
Happy anniversary, Ermita.
That was yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah. We've made it 21 years now.
It's incredible. Relationship's old enough to have a mojito with you.
Talk about beating the odds, huh? People always say, you outkicked your covers. I'm like, come on, man. It's been 21 years. I mean, I'm kicking like I'm Shane Leckler.
Mm-hmm. You should be in the Hall of Fame.
Me too, because I'm a classic. Don't screw with the classic.
Kay, do you have any headlines or texts that we can get into here in this first segment?
Yes, I have some news. So over the weekend, the A&M track and field team wrapped up their 2022-23 season. That was a 4-day event in Austin, and the women's team finished in 5th place with 36 points, and the men came in 22nd with the 11 points, and then the women claimed their 4th straight top 5 finish, giving Pat Henry a total of 20 5-team finishes with his time at Texas A&M. So good news there, but wish the men could have pulled out stronger a little bit.
Talk about another Hall of Famer, Pat Henry, a legend,
classic,
keeps going.
Yeah,
and a classic, right? He's the key lime pie.
If the football team finished 22nd, would that be considered a successful year? I mean,
when you put it in terms of that,
but if they finish 5th,
yeah.
They finish 5th, it's a very successful year.
So,
because if they finish 5th, you're talking.
But 5th is the first team out of the playoffs, technically.
Not anymore.
Well, okay.
Well, one more year.
Yeah.
Well, soon to be not
this
anymore.
Next year.
Soon to be not anymore. The point I'm making is that's a good year for Pat Henry.
Yeah.
He's had better. He's had better, and he will have better. And he will have better. But that's not a bad showing.
No, not at all. And all I'm thinking is now with track done, Texas A&M sports for the 2022-23 school year over. This is the first show without Texas A&M sports.
Well, I'll let you think about this, but when we get to the next segment. But how would we view the year of A&M sports in its entirety, looking back?
And I've got another thing we can ponder as well, kind of on that same tone. Want to go ahead and say hello to the rest of the crew. Nick Savage, producer, director in the back. How are we doing this morning, Nick?
Good morning. Howdy. How are y'all? Happy to have OB and K back, and I'm happy to be back in my natural position, behind here, just with one camera on me, not a bunch.
Nick hosted the show on Friday.
I heard him.
And he was fantastic. He's selling himself a little bit short. So, Nick, you're a great fill-in host, man. I'm just trying to live up to the very high expectations you set for me.
You'll be fine. You'll crush me. It's all right.
Rest of the crew back there, you got Cade to your right, Justin behind you, another Cade, and Brighton back there. What's up, fellas? Boys Club in the back today.
Yeah. We have 2 Cades?
We have 2 Cades.
We have 3
Cades?
Yeah. Recruiting Cade.
Oh, yeah. We have recruiting Cade. And we also had baseball Cade, whose internship ended with the baseball season ending. We've had a ton of Cades, and we've got a K. So it gets very confusing.
I'm always confused.
Olin.
And, that's a lot of names I'll forget.
Well,
I'll just call somebody Cade, and there's a pretty good chance that I'll be right.
Yes, and I think going forward, our intern hiring process, regardless of what your parents named you, once you start here, you're going to be Cade. We're going to rename you. So perfect. Brighton, Justin, sorry for you guys to find out this way, but you're now Cades. Time to take our first break here on TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. When we come back, who knows where we'll go? We've got the Go Hour for another 3 segments.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on The Zone. Come out to a Juneteenth Freedom Day celebration this Saturday at the Carver Event Center from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Free food, fun, and activities for the whole family. The theater company of Bryan College Station presents SpongeBob the Musical. Performances run through Sunday. Purchase tickets online at theatercompany.com/tickets. Early registration is open for the 15th annual Buffalo Stampede Race, presented by the Brazos Valley Museum of Natural History. Use code EARLYBIRD23 for 20% off. Register at brazosvalleymuseum.org. Students entering grades 8th through 12th are invited to a free cybersecurity camp at Texas A&M this summer. 3 sessions are available, but space is limited, so apply now. Visit hprc.tamu.edu. Are you free afternoons from 4 to 6? Chip Howard is hiring for an assistant producer. No prior experience is required. Apply now at zone1150.com. That's your community calendar. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
Right now we're talking Milliken Reserve, farm-to-table community. They're in College Station. They got homes. They got trails. They got wide open spaces. And their mission is to build a healthy community around nature, and they have done that without a doubt. They connect families to nature and to each other. They have an extensive network of trails throughout a wooded landscape that includes walking and equestrian paths out there, creeks and ponds and gatherings. It's a really great area for families just to connect with each other. There's nothing like going on a family walk, throwing the ball out in the front yard, nothing like just being in nature, seeing the awesome animals that they have out there in Milliken Reserve, like the white-tailed deer. They've got it all, and it's certainly a place you want to go see the rabbits, the turtles, the songbirds, and then homeowners at Milliken Reserve. By the way, you don't have to be a homeowner there. Highly recommend the area. But if you're not a homeowner there, you can still go out there. And but if you are a homeowner, you know that you're going to come back to the same pristine countryside place every single year. That's what they do there. They continue to bring it back. Make sure you check out the website to get a little bit more info on how you can go hiking there, biking, canoeing, kayaking, equestrian trails, evening yoga, the summer camps, all the good stuff that they have there at Milliken Reserve. It is millikenreserve.com. Again, millikenreserve.com.
If you own construction equipment and have yet to experience WPI's world-class service, WPI is now offering field service and deep discounts to all new customers. This is Timothy Cornup, your local branch manager at WPI. Regardless of your machine's make or model, call WPI and receive your new customer discount. From custom hydraulic hoses, O-rings, and DEF, to teeth, buckets, and blades, any part, filter, fluid, battery, or lighting for every brand of equipment is at your local WPI. Highway 21 East at Marina Road, or click WPI.com.
On Sports Talk, Chip visits with author Chris Alexander about his new book on the 1960s horror movies adapted from Edgar Allan Poe stories.
Well, growing up loving monsters and horror films kind of makes you two things. It makes you a little bit out of step with your peers, but it also makes you a point of fascination with your peers. So I never had any problems I never was second-guessed my love of this stuff. And also my parents were very in love with weird movies too, so they allowed me to explore it.
Sports Talk, scaring listeners weekdays from 4 to 6 on The Zone.
We're not halfway there yet, Olin.
No, we're only.
Well, you're only a quarter of the way there.
We're a quarter of the way there.
Doesn't have the same kind of vibe, does it? Hey, Olin, I know Kay mentioned right off the top her headlines were track and field, but I don't know if you saw this on Saturday. Texas A&M class of 2011 tennis star Austin Krajicek winning doubles at the French Open.
How about that?
First Aggie to win a Grand Slam tournament since Steve Denton at the 1982 U.S. Open.
Aggie coach.
Texas A&M head coach Steve Denton, who, I don't know if anybody has seen the video on Twitter.
But at that time,
he was a star.
Wasn't he a Texas X?
Yeah, I believe he played at Texas.
Hey, didn't somebody, didn't an Aggie win at Le Mans?
I saw
car
that.
race?
I saw that.
And isn't that in France?
Yes.
So it was a big weekend for Aggies in France.
I heard it was, and Nick might have to correct me if I'm wrong. I know he's in here. Ben Keating, his name. I believe he won in the GT class driving a Corvette. Yeah, how about that? Big weekend in France.
I wonder what. Hey, if there are any other Aggies out there that had a big weekend in France, let us know about it, and let us know what made it a big weekend.
Krychek now the top-ranked doubles player in the world.
Well, wait, you're the single top-rated doubles player?
Yes, they give individuals rankings despite being pairings. I don't know how it makes sense.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not a tennis guy.
All right.
At all, obviously.
Yeah, I know that if you hit it over the net, it's a good thing.
I do have a kind of in that same vein a question, and Olin, I know you're a big team sport guy, big football guy, big baseball fan, big hockey fan over here. Okay. I am, at least. But of the individual sports, right, the sports where you're out there competing on your own,
right?
Golf, tennis, track and field, swimming and diving.
Yeah.
Would you rather win a major in golf,
okay,
a Grand Slam in tennis, an Olympic gold in track, or an Olympic gold in swimming?
Olympic gold. Do I get to pick my event that I won?
Sure.
Okay, I won the Olympic gold in the 100. Think about this. Think
Fastest
about the
man
marketing.
Alive, Olin Buchanan.
A 61-year-old man goes out and is the fastest man in the world in the 100. A 61-year-old white guy just won the. Think of the marketing. Plus, now all jokes aside, really, what could feel better than standing on that podium with that gold medal around your neck, representing your country, as messed up as it is right now? Still, I love my country, with the national anthem played in your honor. What is greater than that?
Be pretty awesome.
And then, the marketing opportunities that come with that.
Yeah.
Like, could I be Michael Phelps? Yeah, but yeah, to me it'd be the gold medal. Mm-hmm. And my second beyond that would be winning a major in golf. But
it wouldn't be too surprising to see a 61-year-old white guy win a major.
Yeah,
now, obviously, it would be a far cry because you see guys out there right now that are up there in age trying to.
I wonder who's the oldest guy. What was the oldest to win a major? I know Jack Nicklaus won the Masters at like 46.
The oldest golfer to win a major is Phil Mickelson, 50 years old, 11 months, when he won at won the U.S. Open.
Okay. Well, see, you're the answer man. By the way,
he won that in 2021.
But I'd still have
and he's still playing. He's now 52.
Yeah, have the national anthem in your honor, though. That, to me, that would just, I don't know what more would be better than that. I remember Mike Eruzione, right? He's when they part of the captain on the
he was the captain of the 1980 Olympic hockey team.
He said, "I'm not even going to try to pursue professional hockey." Maybe he wouldn't have made it anyway, but he said, "What could be better than this?" And I kind of agree with that. So, my question to you, Richard Zane.
Yeah.
So when you look at the A&M sports year in its entirety, give it a grade: A, B, C, D, or F.
Well, so
football to the end of track.
Football to the end of track.
Volleyball to the end of track.
There weren't too many championships to go around, right? Okay. Women's tennis won the regular season title in the SEC. Women's golf won the SEC tournament and got to the semifinals of the NCAA tournament. Basketball had a great year. Softball had a good year, rebuilding first year under Tricia Ford. Joni Taylor, not a great year. A lot of players hurt, a lot of turnover, but
pretty impressive ending.
Very impressive ending in the SEC tournament. Basketball was awesome. But then I think football failed to live up to expectations. It was a disappointment. Yes.
So it was C?
Baseball, not great. C.
It was kind of C. That's fair. C. I mean, there was the really good moments were kind of tempered with the disappointment of football.
Yes. Volleyball and soccer weren't
as good as
they typically are.
I really believe this. I'm not waving the homer flag here. I really believe this. I think the next year, 23 and 24, is going to be a tremendous year for A&M sports across the board.
You think so?
Yeah.
And why do you believe that?
Well,
What makes you believe that?
Okay, well, I'm on the mind that the football team's going to make a giant leap forward, and I'm thinking 9 games minimum, 9 wins minimum. Minimum.
Okay.
So let's find out if I'm right, or and feel free to taunt me in December if I'm wrong. Basketball, I think the women are going to be dramatically better. I think you're going to see more from the women that you saw in the SEC tournament. I think the men are going to be.
And she's recruiting through the portal
really well,
so incredibly.
So I think the men in basketball are going to be at least as good as they were last year, if not better, with only Dexter Dennis, a heck of a player, but the only one of significance that you're losing.
Mm-hmm.
Baseball, I think, will be at least as good, if not better. Softball will continue to, I think, under Tricia Ford, will continue to get better. I think in track and field, you had a solid year, but I think you can expect at least that under Pat Henry. I don't know what to think about volleyball.
We've got a new head coach and
right.
Jimmy
Soccer
Morrison.
Soccer had an atypical season, so if G gets them back to just their typical, what they typically are.
Atypical season, and they still go to the NCAA.
And
tournament.
it looks.
Keep that in mind.
Didn't tennis just get a player?
The women's
transfer
tennis just
in?
got a
That's
really good player. The Big 12 player and freshman of the year.
Yeah, so
coming
I look for the Dream Weaver to keep it going. So I don't know how good equestrian is, but I expect the horses to be to be their typical selves and the riders to be as good as always. So I believe that you're going to see a tremendous year in A&M sports in 23-24. I believe that.
I didn't have Olin Buchanan horse noise on my bingo card this morning.
Well, whenever I say equestrian, I have to, I feel compelled to, because I like horses.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I have to admit, I don't know a whole lot about some of the other sports, but
think of the sports you didn't mention. Men's tennis went to the NCAA tournament.
There you go.
Had a pretty solid year, and then men's golf. Sam Bennett's turned pro, but look at what they've done.
I've always
Brian
say
Corton.
what A&M should be good in everything, from the commitment they've made athletically, the resources we have, the facilities that are there, and getting better. And I know like tennis needs a upgrade and things like that, but everything's getting better. And geography works for A&M. You're in this great state of Texas with so many good athletes in Houston, Dallas, and you have the opportunities to recruit nationally. You should be good in everything. I think that year is coming where you're going to be good in everything.
And we also haven't mentioned swimming and diving.
And I have to admit, I don't know a lot about what's going on there.
I will tell you, they're always a top program in the country, top 25. So how's that?
So just be what you typically are.
Olin, I think it's time for us to take another break here. TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. The Go Hour, presented by The Warehouse at CC Creations. When we come back, I've got a game for you to play, looking back at the 2022-23 athletic year at Texas A&M.
All right.
We are going. Are you ready? The Zone 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. Our blood, our sweat, their tears.
It's time. Here we go. Let's go.
But right now, we're talking Chance McClain and Heritage Films. I say his name. It's kind of like, Gallery Furniture, you think of Mattress Mac. David Gardner's Jewelers, you think of David Gardner. Like, there's certain Jason Rollo with Rollo Insurance. I say Chance's name with Heritage Films because you're dealing with the guy, right? There aren't other people. I mean, yes, there are other people in the company, but you're dealing with the brains of the operation when it comes to Heritage Films. When we're doing a documentary film about your family, you want it done the right way. A lot of you probably haven't even thought about having one done other than when you hear the spot, like, documentary? Really? Why? There are many whys. One, to honor somebody important in your family. One, to preserve your family name and the stories that has made up your family. All right? There are several reasons why you do it. And if you haven't really considered it yet, you should call Chance up and just talk to him about what it would take. Like, when can you do it? How does it work? Like, I'm giving you some of the specifics. Chance can go directly into those storylines and really answer them for you. He's very creative, done movies, radio shows, Broadway musicals. He's done a little bit of everything. That's why he's such a phenomenal storyteller. Call him up. He'll answer if he's not on the shoot. 713-893-8341. 713-893-8341. Check out the website, yourheritagefilm.com. Yourheritagefilm.com. It's Heritage Films.
Maroon U is your ultimate stop for brand name apparel, gifts, and accessories for the entire family. From Columbia, 47 brand, Yeti, Dooney & Burke, and Adidas, we're able to outfit you for every occasion. Visit Maroon U and our family of companies on Holloman Drive in College Station to shop the latest in brand name Aggie merchandise. Shop Maroon U today, voted best in the Brazos' best gift shop since 2016. Maroon never looked so good with Maroon U.
Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, and Max Kellerman.
The fact that you think that all mac and cheese is the same because it's cheese.
No, I never said
conversation
that.
was around?
Never said that.
You essentially said that, Max. Because
Never.
You said,
I'm not arguing some mac and cheese is way better than others. I'm saying the worst mac and cheese is a soggy noodle with cheese on it. I'll still tear that
I'm
up.
not eating that.
All right, so that's you.
You're saying if you're hungry and you saw a horrible piece of mac and cheese and you know it's not going to be good, you'll still eat it.
Because not good is relative. Not as good as good mac and cheese, obviously. Do you think noodles taste good by themselves, yes or no? Because I think, they're pretty good. They're not the best thing ever. They're pretty good. Do I think melted cheese is good? Yes, I do. You put them together, even if it's all jacked up compared to official mac and cheese, I'll still eat it.
But that's not mac and cheese, man. That's some Velveeta slices put into a damn oven. Nobody's eating that.
Mornings 5 to 8 on Sports Radio 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. Powered by WC Tractor.
Welcome back. You're listening to TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. Richard Zane and Olin Buchanan here inside the Rollo Insurance Studio. This is the Go Hour, presented by The Warehouse at CC Creations. And right now it's time to get a check of the A&B text line. Real Texas Bankin', Kay Nagley's in the News and Social Centers handling your text messages this morning.
Yeah, so JB in Canyon asked Big Shooter and OB, what are y'all's thoughts about the Stanford pitcher Quinn Matthews throwing 156 pitches yesterday?
Olin?
That's a tough one because I think if I would have been the coach, I would have brought in a reliever for the ninth inning at least, right?
Especially up 5 runs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure the Quinn Matthews said, hey, I want to finish this game.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you got to say, hey, you know what, maybe that's not the best interest. Now, not all arms are made alike. You know, so we're always saying, they shouldn't throw that many because it's going to hurt his arm, but maybe it won't hurt his arm. When I was a kid, Ferguson Jenkins was a pitcher, and he pitched. It seems like he would throw that on like a weekly basis, but maybe there should be a rule of how many pitches, an NCAA rule that a pitcher can throw in a week.
Yeah, we were talking about this before the show started, right? And at the same time, like there are rules in Little League, there are rules in high school to protect the arms of the young pitchers, and in college they're still young, right, for the most part, but they are adults. They're men. So I think it's a heroic performance from Quinn Matthews. He saves his team's bullpen, sets him up very nicely in tonight's Game 3 against the University of Texas, a chance to pitch Stanford into the College World Series.
Now, I know, but
156 pitches is insane, and yeah, that's risking injury. And with the 5-run lead,
lead, I probably would, but
I don't get it. It seems like David Esker was talked into keeping him out there.
Maybe, but and Esker's got to be able to make his own decisions. He's the coach, and but I remember back in like 2009, 2010, Urban Meyer was criticized for his offense, saying, "You're not developing Tim Tebow for the NFL." And you're like, hey, wait a minute. That's not my job. My job is to win games for Florida. And if Tim Tebow would have thought, I want someone to develop me for the NFL, I've got to look at this system that they're running. Is that is that the best? Is that what's most conducive for me? He's got to make the decision whether or not that offense is better for him. Quinn Matthews needed to do his homework. Is this Stanford coach the type of guy that's going to ask me to throw 150 pitches? If the answer is yes, then he needs to say, hey, I dig that about him. I want to go out there and throw. I don't want someone taking the ball away from me if I feel good. Or, no, I don't need to go there. Look, I personally probably would have taken the kid out for the
and
night.
I'm sure he's done plenty of homework. And, I mean, Quinn Matthews is the same kid that and Aggies have heard all about it. They saw him last weekend pitching in relief. And this is the same kid that made some presentation before his Game 1 start against San Jose State. He's got all sorts of academic accolades as well. So
maybe he has a bionic arm.
Yep.
He threw 116 pitches on Friday night last week against San Jose State. 116, I think it was, 114. And 2 nights later,
threw 66 more against the
Aggies. And I was counting on that being he was going to be throwing up some meatballs for A&M to tee off on. No, they couldn't hit him. So this guy knows himself, right? And I would say if here's what I'd have to know. If the kid said, I want the ball.
And if you go and listen to his post-game press conference, Quinn Matthews said he wanted it.
Then if he hurts himself and if it affects his career later on, he made that decision. So if the guy says, hey, give me the ball, I want to finish this, maybe the coach should have said, nah, look, let's let somebody else get these last 3 outs. But the coach was also probably thinking about, I got to win for Stanford. And 2 nights or the night before, I had a 3-run lead going into the 9th?
Yes, they were up 3 runs.
And my bullpen couldn't hold it?
Yep.
And I got to win for Stanford.
Yep. And saving that bullpen that was shaky on Saturday night probably sets you up good on Monday night.
And if the kid told me, look, I feel fine, I want the ball, I don't care, I got to win for Stanford.
One last thing on Quinn Matthews before we move on.
Great first name, by the way.
Yeah. Shares it with Quinn Buchanan. Quinn Matthews has thrown at least 100 pitches in all but 2 outings this season.
So he's got a
one of those outings was against A&M in relief, in which he lasted 4 innings.
Wait.
He's thrown at least 100 pitches in all but 2 outings.
Oh, okay. And one of them,
was in relief.
On 2 or 3 days rest.
And the other one, he threw 64 and gave up 8 runs in an inning and 2
So if
thirds.
he's done that all year,
yeah,
then I can't imagine saying, okay, I want you to throw another 30 pitches is what is going to do him in. If he's done that all year.
And he's thrown 120 pitches on 4 occasions now.
Right. So
with 156
that's
being
extreme.
the high water mark.
That's extreme, I'll admit. Yeah. But, again, not all arms are created equal.
Yep.
Esker's got to win for Stanford. That's his job to win for Stanford. Now, if the kid said, look, I can't throw it or I don't want to, then he's got to go to the bullpen. But if the kid's saying, hey, give me the ball and I got to win for Stanford, my bullpen blew it. Now Schlossnagle, if he was in that position, I wonder what he would do. And I wonder how Aggies would react if he took out a guy that said, I want to pitch and then I've got this, put me out. I wonder how Aggies would react if he took the guy out and then his bullpen blew the lead and cost you a trip to the College World Series.
Really good question, Olin. Great question from JB on the text line. A lot of people are talking about Quinn Matthews this morning. A lot of them. Olin, I want to kind of play a game right here.
All right.
Looking back on the 2022-23 Texas A&M athletic year, Kay, I've got my inspiration from you and Kennedy Cavan in your blind rankings. Do you know anything about this, Olin?
No.
So it's a TikTok trend, and Kay might be able to explain it better to me. You don't know what I'm going to what's going to come next.
No.
You have to blindly rank something 1 through 5.
1 through 5.
Or what do you think, Kay? Should I do 10? Because I've got 10, or we can shorten it to 5.
10 may be too hard to keep up with, but you cannot change your answer after you say it. So he says something, you have to place it 1 through 5. Can't change. You have to solidify it there.
1 through 5.
I'll keep track of where things are.
She'll keep track. Okay, then you don't know what's coming next.
I have
Keep
no
that
idea.
in mind, okay? First on my list, Sam Bennett's performance at the Masters.
Where does that rank?
Where would you rank that 1 through 5
among
top moments for Texas A&M athletics in 2022-23?
I would rank it about probably 5th.
5th. Okay.
Yeah, because that wasn't. It was good for Texas A&M athletics, but he was not representing Texas A&M. He was representing Sam Bennett.
Fair. Football's 38-23 upset of number 5 LSU.
I'm not going to rank it.
You have to rank it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to give
4.
you. Yeah, okay, he's going to go 4.
4.
And why wouldn't you rank it? What's the thought process there?
Because I'm not. Yeah, it was a good win, but it was at the end of a 5-7 season. So, am I going to really get excited about a crappy meal because the dessert was okay? But if I go to a restaurant and the appetizer was terrible, the entree was terrible, everything was terrible. But the dessert was pretty good. It was key lime pie, and it wasn't dipped in chocolate or fried. It was classic. Yeah, that's great. But am I going back to that restaurant? No, I'm going to put that at 4.
Okay. How about basketball's upset of number 2 Alabama in the home finale?
That was pretty sexy. Now, that was pretty sexy. Not knowing what else is coming right now, I think I'm putting that number 1.
Number 1. Okay. Baseball. Jace Lavallette's 3-homer game in the 6-4 victory in Starkville on Friday night. That started this
3.
run.
3.
3? Okay.
So what? I don't even know what's number 2.
You have 2.
But
That's all
that
you
was
have
important. But again, that was important. But that was a team that didn't even make the SEC tournament.
Yeah. Nick, are you there?
So what's number 2?
Well, I've got
I'm here.
multiple options.
Oh, okay.
And I know Nick's got the rundown in front of him. He knows he knows my list of things. So I'm going to ask him.
You want me to give you the last one?
Huh?
You want me to give the last option?
Pick the last one. So we've already done this one. We've already done this one. Go down the list, Nick. I know it's a lot of pressure.
Since we're asking OB, and I know how much he loves the Dreamweaver, women's tennis second consecutive SEC regular season title. How about that?
2.
Yeah, he has to rank it at 2. Those are the rules.
I don't have a. Well, now how far off do you think I am? Maybe.
Well, Kay, what was the list?
Yeah, so the list was basketball's win. Second was tennis Dreamweaver. Third was the win in Starkville. Fourth was the LSU football game. And then fifth was Sam Bennett's performance.
I feel pretty good about that. Maybe you should say that the women tennis team going all the way to, almost winning the national championship. But, I feel pretty comfortable with that, actually.
Yeah, I thought that was a pretty good list. Good job. The one, I did have a few other moments.
What was out there?
I had Tyrese Radford's 30-point night at Auburn.
Okay.
I had baseball's win over Florida, the balk-off that clinched the series over number 4 Florida. SEC championship women's golf, Zoe Slaughter winning that playoff.
Okay.
More women's golf. They beat Texas in the NCAA quarterfinals in match play.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It's
kind of sexy.
My last one was women's basketball's run in the SEC tournament.
You know what? I'm going to stick with the one that might get in there would have been the golf beating
Texas
or the run right before that. The one you said before that, because I'm of the mind that we put too much emphasis on beating Texas, but they beat Texas to get somewhere, right?
Yes,
so
they
that
beat Texas
that made
in the national quarterfinal.
Right. Texas means nothing. I spit at Texas. I say Texas. I spit on the floor. Texas is not the end all be all for me. It's just another team that you don't even play all the time. But if you beat that team to move on to national or something like that, then Kay's going to laugh at this because she doesn't think this is the correct usage, but it is. If they do that, if you beat Texas to go somewhere into a national, that's sexy. That's sexy. But beyond that, they're just another team. And typically not even that good in some of the sports, even though this year they had a really good year overall.
On my list of 10, did I miss any of the key moments from this 2022-23 calendar that really stand out in your mind?
Maybe you could have packaged it all together and say A&M men's basketball making it to the final. But again, in that case, it was like the opposite of the LSU football where I said, in that case, the whole meal was great until the dessert.
Yep.
But, that comes to mind. No, not that I can think of. There's probably something that maybe something involving track and field.
Women's basketball, maybe the run through the SEC tournament
was
a good moment. But
yeah, he mentioned that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I think Kay's saying it's a good moment, but like something else could have taken its place on a top 10 list. Yeah. If you've got a favorite moment from the last athletic calendar, go ahead and shoot us a text on the A&B text line.
I might have put the golf, the women beating Texas Gold Nationals 5th.
Ahead of Sam Bennett.
Because as much as I was thrilled with Sam, A&M got great publicity.
A team moment versus an individual moment.
That wasn't competing for A&M at that time, if that makes sense.
Understood. One more segment.
Anything to do with equestrian in there?
They got to the national tournament. Nay.
Okay.
Good one, Olin. One more segment left in this very, very silly edition of the Go
I'm
Hour,
back.
presented by The Warehouse at CC Creations. You're listening to TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers.
Did you miss me?
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on the Zone. Voices for Children is hosting its annual back-to-school clothing drive to provide children in foster care new clothes and backpacks. Visit vfcbrazos.org for more information on the Shop for Casa back-to-school drive. United Way of the Brazos Valley invites you to take part in its upcoming Day of Action. Help assemble 1,500 baby bundles for local newborns the morning of Wednesday, June 21st at SOS Ministries. Find more information and sign up at uwbv.org. The Adam Reuter Masonic Lodge in Welburn is holding a pork butt fundraiser. Find the lodge on Facebook for more information. Stage Center Theater presents last roundup of the Guacamole Queens. Performances run June 8th through the 24th. Tickets are available at stagecenter.net. Sign up for the Zone All Access newsletter brought to you by Caliber, the wealth development company. Sign up now at zone1150.com. That's your community calendar. I'm Chelsea Reber on the Zone.
Let's talk a little Fargo. So I'm going to go bland on the spot because OB's not here, but Fargo's isn't bland at all. You guys know. That's the place. I owe my buddy Philip lunch there. He's like, hey, let's go to Fargo's. I was like, let's do it. My brother's in town, so I got some stuff has changed in my schedule. But I'm going to take him. We're going to go. We're going to enjoy whatever day we go because they have specials every friggin' day that they're open. They're not open on Sundays and Mondays, but when they're open on a Tuesday, you know you're going to get great food. Today, rib tips only offered and served on Tuesdays and Saturdays. Once they are gone, they are absolutely gone. Tomorrow, you want to go there and get the chopped beef on a baked potato. They also have beef ribs on Wednesday and Saturday. You got Thursday, pork chops, mac and cheese. You know how I feel about the mac and cheese. The green beans, the red potatoes. Friday, it is the 4 C's. You got crunchy catfish, or what is he? How does OB say? No, he says crunchy hush puppies, excuse me. You got the catfish, you got the corn, the coleslaw. And then Saturday, they got the beef ribs on Saturdays and Wednesdays. It is the place to go to get your grub on. I'm telling you, you'll love it. They've been around for 22 years. Football weekends, office parties, weddings, anniversaries, funerals, and dinners. Any gathering or celebration done the right way. It is Fargo, 1701 South Texas Avenue in Bryan. Without a doubt, the best barbecue in town. That's their trademark because it's true. Go check it out. It's Fargo's.
As sure as Texas weather will change, storm chasers will roll into town when the Brazos Valley experiences a hail or severe storm, bringing out-of-town crews with them. Don't get hit twice. Aggieland Roofing is a local, licensed, and insured company, one that will be here to handle any warranty issues, one that is part of your community. We live here, and we are here to stay. Aggieland Roofing is a member of the BCS Chamber of Commerce and the official roofer of Texas A&M Athletics. Remember, shop local, shop licensed. Call me, the Roofer Girl.
Hi, popular sports talk host Chip Howard asking you to consider a job in radio. What could be more fun? Getting me coffee, picking up my dry cleaning. You got to start somewhere, right? But seriously, the Zone needs an assistant show producer and board operator. Learn from the best, yours truly, and jumpstart your broadcasting career. Who knows? You may be the next Harry Doyle. But hurry, this offer won't last. Apply now at zone1150.com. That's zone1150.com.
Mark Weaver.
Whoever is back at the mothership is listening intently today.
I appreciate that. They're obviously, whoever that is listening to the show. You played Bon Jovi earlier. Yeah. He's on top of it.
Yeah.
Whoever you are, great job.
Sean, we salute you.
Sean, we salute you.
Great job, Sean. Richard Zane, Olin Buchanan, inside the Rollo Insurance Studio. The final segment of the Go Hour here on this Monday morning. The Go Hour, of course, presented by The Warehouse at CC Creations. And it's time for another text check of the A&B text line with Kay Nagley in the Social Center. Yes, the blonde girl.
The blonde girl. Yeah. Am I the only... Yeah, Kennedy's all dark now, so yeah. I'm just the singular.
Kennedy Cavan is now a brunette, and it is a source of
great
I still haven't seen her,
so it is hilarious.
I'm gonna be shocked. I feel like. Anyways, Baylor.
There was a lot of peroxide going around here not long ago, but moving on.
Moving on. Baylor in Beaumont, Texas says, I know this isn't a singular great moment from this year, but the Pack Reed propaganda for basketball was probably the most exciting trend for me.
Okay. There was it was fun.
Basketball?
It got to be fun.
A blast. Okay, anything else?
Yeah, Hank in College Station says, Olin, yes, exactly right about TU. We Aggies must not stay focused on those infidels in any sport. When we play them in football, do not play at or near Thanksgiving. P.S. We were at Key West last year, and I agree. Leave key lime pie alone. It does not need chocolate or anything.
Do you ever see... I bet you Billy Liucci's mother's done this before. You've probably seen this, that like in people in New York or whatever, if something disgusts them, you say the name and you spit on the floor as a show of disdain.
I've never seen that.
You've never seen that?
No.
I'll tell you off the air. But no, it's not anything dirty. We just don't want to take over the show. But I think other people are familiar with this,
Mm-hmm.
So that's me in Texas now.
So, Olin, how much college baseball have you kept up with on vacation and now that
Actually,
A&M's out?
I was so rooting for A&M that we would go back to our hotel and we sat in our hotel room in Marathon and watched the game against Stanford.
Yeah.
I kept up with it as much as I possibly could, and we watched a couple of games.
6 tickets have been punched to Omaha already. Florida's going. TCU's going.
Stanford and Tennessee today.
Wake Forest bludgeoned Alabama yesterday.
That's
Virginia, Oral Roberts, just the 3rd 4 seed in history to get there. And then Twins LSU Tigers.
Yeah, that's a miracle. Imagine that. Oral Roberts having a miracle.
So, Olin, that was an exciting super regional in Eugene. I was really excited to see the Golden Eagles win.
They, you know what? Back in the day, they were called the Titans. I wonder why they changed their mascot.
I didn't know that. Learn something new every day
Back
when you're
in
around Olin Buchanan. So you are going with Tennessee and Stanford today?
Yeah.
Okay. Tennessee and Southern Miss play at 5, and then Stanford and Texas.
Tennessee because they're in the SEC, and Stanford because they're playing Texas.
Perfect. Olin, thanks so much again. This has been the Go Hour presented by The Warehouse at CC Creations. When we come back, TexAgs Radio presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We're going to catch up with former Texas A&M baseball player J.B. Moss.
Gotta be connected with The Zone. Follow us on Twitter or Instagram at The Zone 1150. Like us on Facebook at The Zone 1150. Programming alerts, prize updates, scores from games all across Bryan Broadcasting, contest news, and more. Connect with us and always be in the know. Can't remember what team is playing on what station? When are they giving away what? And when is the coach on the show? Follow us on Twitter or Instagram at Zone 1150. And be sure to like us on Facebook at Zone 1150. And always be in the know.
Life is filled with many paths. But for Native American children, the most important path is the one that leads them out of poverty.
It's a path that led me here, to St. Joseph's Indian School.
And 96% of St. Joe's students graduate high school. That's 10% higher than the national average.
St. Joseph's Indian School is our path to a brighter future.
Learn more at stjo.org today.
Questions, comments, or opinions about anything and everything and all things The Zone. Send your emails to Louie at BryanBroadcasting.com. That's Louie at BryanBroadcasting.com. This is KZNE College Station Bryan.
From WTAW, I'm Chelsea Reber with a news update on The Zone. College Station Police is asking for information related to 2 weekend reports of gunfire where no one was hit and no arrests have been made. One was last night at the Halston Apartments, formerly known as Laurel Ridge at Taro and Spring Loop. And Saturday night, a fight in a hookah restaurant and bar moved outside and led to gunfire in the parking lot of the Park Place Plaza at Texas and Southwest Parkway. Bryan police seized during the search of a car $8,000 of what officers believe is powder cocaine, crack cocaine, Adderall that contained methamphetamine, Xanax, ecstasy, oxycodone, and almost 4 pounds of marijuana. That led to the arrest of 35-year-old Jazare Johnson of Bryan, someone in the BPD arrest report who was seen moving items in and out of the car. Johnson was released from his 21st visit to the Brazos County Jail in 18 years after posting bonds totaling $72,000. A new superintendent for College Station ISD schools could be named later today. CSISD board members could select a sole finalist during a special meeting that begins at noon. An undisclosed number of candidates were interviewed during 5 days of special meetings. When a sole finalist is named, there is a 21-day waiting period before the hiring becomes official. Today's agenda also includes hiring 6 assistant principals and making changes in the district stipends for special education positions. Brazos County commissioners expressed no opposition to the future renovation of the county's administration building. Purchasing agent Charles Went says results of a feasibility study include turning the 1-floor sanctuary area of the former church into 2 floors. Much of the first floor would be a multi-purpose room.
You'd be able to seat 150 people in just chairs. We would have a computer training room to handle 40 people at tables with computers. That would take potentially the place of the current IT room that they have at the IT building.
The second floor would be reserved for future development. For more news, go to WTAW.com. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
Friends, the year's almost half over, and you're still dealing with that knee or hip pain. Enough is enough. Pills are not the answer. Surgery is not the answer. You need to call QC Kinetics today. Hey, it's David Nuno, and the advanced regenerative medicine solutions at QC Kinetics can give you a life without chronic joint pain, and you can do all those summer activities you used to enjoy. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in taking healing properties from your own body and applying them directly into your achy joints so your joint tissue can be repaired and restored naturally. This treatment is truly revolutionary. Patients across America are having life-changing results, and there are no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime. If you have pain in your knees, your back, your hips, your shoulders, or your hips, you need to stop what you're doing and call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. Learn how the latest advances in regenerative medicine can give you your life back. Call QC Kinetics, 979-452-6000. QC Kinetics, 979-452-6000. That is 979-452-6000.
I'm Sean Burnett with your Aggie Sports Minute on The Zone. This update is brought to you by Hilco Metal Roofing and Supply. Call 936-825-0500 or click hillcosupply.com. At the NCAA Track and Field Championship over the weekend, the Aggie men's 4x400 meter squad earned a 5th place finish. The Texas A&M women's team finished 5th overall at the competition, claiming their 4th straight top 5 finish. That gives Coach Pat Henry a total of 20 top 5 finishes in his time at Texas A&M. Good news for A&M women's tennis as head coach Mark Weaver announced the addition of sophomore transfer Nicole Kieran from the University of Texas to next year's roster. She earned Big 12 Player of the Year and Freshman of the Year honors following her outstanding collegiate debut campaign for the Longhorns. The sophomore from Israel joins the Aggies following a decorated rookie season. Kieran was named to the All-Big 12 Singles First Team, Big 12 All-Freshman Team, Big 12 All-Tournament Team, and was awarded Big 12 Individual Champion accolades for the number 1 singles. Adding to her long list of conference awards, Kieran was also named the Intercollegiate Tennis Association's Texas Regional Rookie of the Year. Texas A&M Men's Tennis Hall of Fame inductee Austin Krajicek won the first Grand Slam title of his career following a dominant performance in the final of the French Open doubles tournament Saturday. And that's your Aggie Sports Minute, brought to you by Hilco Metal Roofing and Supply. On The Zone, I'm Sean Burnett.
Each Tuesday at 1:55, I'm joined inside the Charles Schwab studio by April Plemons of Long Way Home Adoptables. We get to meet our mascot of the week, a dog, a cat, an animal looking for a permanent home. The mascot of the week on the Louis Bellina Show is brought to you by Waggy Pet Zone. Have you ever wondered what goes into training a service dog? Well, you can find out inside their service dog group classes. Sign up now. Get more information at waggypetzone.com.
Welcome back. It's 9:05 here on a Monday morning. You're listening to TexAgs Radio presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. I'm Richard Zane inside the Rollo Insurance Studio filling in for David Nuno, who's actually up in Tulsa giving you gym reviews of the entire place up there in Oklahoma. And right now, college baseball dominating the headlines right now. Texas A&M, unfortunately, not in the super regional round, but there are 6 tickets punched. 2 will be punched later today. And right now we want to go out to the hotline and chat with former Texas A&M outfielder J.B. Moss. Jibs, how we doing, my brother?
Richard, what's up, man? How's everything?
Oh, man, everything's good. How about yourself?
Good. Can't complain.
Yeah? Back from vacation, back at work and back on the grind?
You got it, man. Back from vacation and back to the Monday grind for sure.
All right, JB. So the last time we talked to you was last Monday. A&M was getting set to play Game 7 at Stanford. The Aggies ultimately lost that one 7-1. What were your biggest takeaways from that ball game itself? And, I mean, if you have to look back on the entire season, how do you grade the 2023 Texas A&M baseball season?
Well, my takeaways from Game 7, first of all, were, I was extremely proud of Nathan Detmer. The last time we saw him on the biggest stage was in the College World Series against Notre Dame, and he put up a tremendous performance. Obviously, I know we didn't get the win Game 7 in Palo Alto, but I thought Nathan really pitched well. I thought that was probably as good as we had seen him all year when the lights were the brightest and it meant the most. So I was really proud of Nathan. I thought he gave us a chance to win. I was pretty frustrated with the offense, kind of the whole postseason. I think that kind of got lost in Hoover, because we were pitching so well, they kind of covered it up. But, listen, hitting's going to come and go. And like Coach Slosh says, it's all about pitching and defense. And I thought we had a chance to win. We just didn't get the big hit when we needed it. Looking at the season as a whole, I thought it was okay. They finished 38-27, which, if you're just looking at this team on paper, is really pretty remarkable in my opinion. They hit 270 as a team. They pitched at 5.5 ERA, and and for them to, go 14-16 in the league says a lot for the coaching staff and the character of the kids just being winners, in my opinion, because it certainly, wasn't always pretty on paper.
Now, JB, I don't mean this next question as a slight, because every Texas A&M baseball player that has ever come through here has never won a national championship. So, as a former player, when a season ends, what are the emotions that come along with that?
Well, if your season ends and it's not in Omaha, which, none of my 4 seasons, unfortunately, in Texas A&M ended in Omaha, it's disappointment. I obviously understand that we've never won a national title at Texas A&M, but the expectation is Omaha. And I think that we've built that expectation through years and years of hard work and great players and great coaches. So, anytime it doesn't end in Omaha, you can't help but feel disappointment. And, you're heading out to summer ball after your end of year meetings with the staff, and you've got work to do. So, I think that the expectation, at Texas A&M baseball should be top 8, Omaha, or you didn't get the job done. So I certainly hope that that's the feeling of the players, and certainly expect that it is.
You talk about the expectation being Omaha, and I feel like a lot of people had that same expectation coming into 2023. Obviously, A&M was ranked 5th in the country, but a lot of that expectation of getting back to the Men's College World Series has to do with what guys did last year. Guys like Austin Bose and Brett Minnick and Jordan Thompson, those 3 guys out of eligibility, can't come back. And then another guy like Trevor Werner, who is unlikely to return. So for those 4 guys and the other members of this class who we might not see in maroon and white again, how will you remember the mark that they've left on this program, JB?
Well, I'll certainly remember all of those guys in a positive light. Look, I mean, what they did last year in regards to a Final Four finish, that's never been done in Texas A&M baseball history. So they've certainly etched their names in the history books at Texas A&M as far as I'm concerned. And regardless of the outcome of this season, I'll always remember those guys in a positive light. Obviously I know that they didn't have the numbers that they had hoped for this season, but regardless, listen, there's a lot more to being a Texas A&M baseball player than just numbers. Those guys represented the university in the right way. Certainly guys of high character that work hard and do the right thing, and certainly were productive. So, I wish all the best to those guys in their future moving forward, and proud of the groundwork that they've laid since Coach Slosh has been on campus.
One of the biggest bright spots of this spring was Jace Lavallette's season, man. I mean, 21 home runs, 18 stolen bases as a true freshman. What were you most impressed with from him this offseason, outfielder to outfielder?
This is going to probably sound a little weird, but what I was most impressed with was his ability to respond to failure, not so much his success. I remember Coach Slosh before the season started saying that he thought Jace could be a 20-homer guy, and he certainly was that. What is more impressive to me about Jace is that he certainly got off to a slow start. They were chewing him up and spitting him out there for 3 or 4 weeks in the early part of the season. And just his ability to handle that and to respond positively and get hot in conference play, to be able to do that as a true freshman, I can't even describe to you how impressive that is. It's very hard as a true freshman to come into this league and this environment week after week and play this many games, and just be good enough to be on the field. More or less hit 20 home runs, 3rd on the team in average, 1st on the team in stolen bases. I mean, he's a superstar. I certainly think he's going to be a superstar in maroon and white, and he's definitely who you're going to build the rest of your lineup around moving forward.
Got former Texas A&M outfielder J.B. Moss with us right now on the hotline, talking some Texas A&M baseball, some college baseball. You talk about Jace's amazing freshman season and those numbers. Jibbs, do you remember your freshman stats?
I don't remember my freshman. Well, I take that back. Look, I was this point's even more to Jace, right? I was a pretty highly recruited kid, and coming in as a freshman, wide-eyed and really not knowing what to expect. I had a really bad ankle injury in the fall, so I missed a lot of fall ball. But I was primarily used as a pinch runner or a defensive replacement. I could really run. I think I got 12 at bats, and it was definitely eye-opening. You come from respective high school, and you're the best player certainly on your high school team, and playing summer ball, and you're just really not used to failure. So I had a lot of growing up to do mentally. I had never dealt with failure before, and certainly didn't handle failure well early in my career. Excuse me. But I don't remember what happened in those 12 at bats. I do remember facing Michael Lorenzen, my first college at bat. That certainly wasn't very fun. That was 100 miles an hour at Cal State Fullerton. But yeah, luckily I grew a lot after my freshman year.
7 official at bats, just for the record. 1 base hit, but that senior season, man, that 318 average, much better looking.
Appreciate it.
Of course, brother. And one more thing on Jace before we move on. When it's all said and done, where do you think he's going to end up among the greats that have come through this program?
Well, I don't know. Time will tell. He's certainly put his name at the potential to put his name at the top of the list. I mean, I got some Aggie baseball history with a TexAgs article that was put out last week. I think Jace was in the top 10 as far as freshman campaigns in the history of the program. So moving forward, I think the sky's the limit for the young man. I'm really impressed at how he uses the whole field to hit. And just his power. I mean, he can miss hit balls and run them out of the ballpark. So I certainly see 20 homer potential in each of his 3 seasons in Aggie land. And, that with combining that with run production as far as, runs scored and RBIs, I mean, he has a chance to etch his name at top 5, if not 1, in Aggie baseball history for sure.
So now that the offseason has officially begun in College Station, what do you think is the most important thing for Jim Schlossnagle and his coaching staff to address this summer before fall ball and then heading into next February for opening day?
Number 1 is starting pitching, hands down, no question. You take these 2 seasons, Schloss's first 2 seasons as a whole, it's really, I've said it before, but it's kind of remarkable what they've done. They've done it in an unconventional, sometimes ugly fashion, and that speaks volumes to the program. Like I said, I think they just know how to win. And there's no, substitute for knowing how to do that. But I think stability in your program, stability in giving yourself a chance on the weekend in this league starts and ends with starting pitching. Schloss will be the first one to tell you that. So, now it's time to put, money where his mouth is and go out and find those guys. Obviously, I know it's not easy, given the fact that these recruiting classes start so far in advance in the sport of baseball. But the transfer portal, I think, is going to be a huge asset for him in that regard. So I fully expect the staff to hit the ground running and go find some starting pitching to get that turned around.
So the Aggies might be done, but obviously this weekend the super regional rounds had plenty of fun and exciting ball games. JB, how focused have you been on college baseball since the Aggies got eliminated, and what storylines have caught your attention the most?
Well, I've been pretty locked into it. Number 1, just because it's been very fun to watch. You look around the league, and whether it's SEC or not, these environments that are super regional environments are so fun to watch, and watching the players rise to the occasion has certainly been fun. I've been pretty locked in on the Stanford, Texas series for obvious reasons. Kind of makes you sick to your stomach. Feel like if Stanford could just catch a fly ball, that series would be over in Palo Alto. But, storylines, specifically in the SEC, what I'm paying attention to, I think Florida is really, really good. We go back to the starting pitching comment, and man, do they have it. I certainly think they're poised to make a huge run in Omaha. They're my pick for a national champion. And then LSU, you cannot say enough about that environment in Baton Rouge. I mean, their fans are second to none. Very impressive environment, very impressive offensively. And then, look, they have the first 2 picks in the draft come July. So those are my 2 top teams. Haven't seen a lot of Wake Forest, but if I was to pick a third, obviously Wake Forest, LSU, and Florida, I think are going to have good showings in Omaha.
Yeah, Wake Forest and Alabama combined for 13 home runs yesterday. Alabama got the doors beaten off of them, 22-5. The Demon Deacons go into Omaha. But JB, no love for the Oral Roberts Golden Eagles?
No, of course. I mean, it's super cool. I can't explain to you, I've never been a 4 seed, but I can only imagine how hard, that is going on the road, facing the number 1 seed, running through a regional, going on the road again and running through a super, certainly as a Cinderella, is something to be celebrated. And congrats to Old Roberts. And, I haven't seen them. That's one of the supers I didn't pay attention to, didn't watch, but,
you missed out.
If they've got starting pitching, they've got a chance. So it'll be interesting to see what they do in Omaha.
That Eugene Super Regional, JB, was super fun to watch. Oregon walking it off on Friday, or Roberts walking it off on Saturday, and then it seemed like it was going to be a back and forth ball game on yesterday until Oregon just ran out of pitching, man. It was super fun. 2 tickets left to be punched today, right? You've got Tennessee and Southern Miss playing at 5 o'clock this evening, and then Texas and Stanford game 3 at 7. Who do you got winning those 2 ball games and headed to Omaha?
I've got Stanford in Palo Alto, and I've got Tennessee in Hattiesburg. I certainly think that, Tennessee, I think they have enough offense. But I have confidence in their pitching staff. I think they run consistently guys out there who are it seems like 94 to 97 miles an hour, and they just keep rolling out of the bullpen. So confidence in Tennessee's pitching staff. And then, I think, a little bit of what happened to A&M last weekend. I thought that we let Stanford get hot. And they certainly looked confident last night. What an incredible pitching performance. Seemed like, their team's going to rally around that, tonight, and Stanford's certainly my pick.
JB, appreciate it as always, and from all of us here at TexAgs, a very happy early birthday to you, my brother.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. Thank you guys for having me, and appreciate all you guys do for Texas A&M.
Yeah, we'll chat soon, JB. So thanks so much again, man.
Sounds good, brother. See you.
That's former Texas A&M outfielder JB Moss talking some Texas A&M baseball and some college baseball as well. This is TexAgs Radio presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, and when we come back, we'll shift focus to some recruiting. We'll talk with TexAgs senior recruiting analyst Jason Howe on the other side.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on The Zone. Come out to a Juneteenth Freedom Day celebration this Saturday at the Carver Event Center from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Free food, fun, and activities for the whole family. The theater company of Bryan College Station presents SpongeBob the Musical. Performances run through Sunday. Purchase tickets online at theatercompany.com/tickets. Early registration is open for the 15th annual Buffalo Stampede Race, presented by the Brazos Valley Museum of Natural History. Use code EARLYBIRD23 for 20% off. Register at brazosvalleymuseum.org. Students entering grades 8 through 12 are invited to a free cybersecurity camp at Texas A&M this summer. 3 sessions are available, but space is limited, so apply now. Visit hprc.tamu.edu. Are you free afternoons from 4 to 6? Chip Howard is hiring for an assistant producer. No prior experience is required. Apply now at zone1150.com. That's your community calendar. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
All right, the year's almost half over, so if you're still dealing with that knee pain or hip pain, enough is enough. You got to get it fixed right about now, and by getting it fixed, I'm not talking about pills. That's not the answer. I'm not talking about surgery. That's not the answer. I want you to call up our friends there at QC Kinetics. They do such great work out there. The advanced regenerative medicine solutions at QC Kinetics can give you a life without chronic joint pain. You can do all those summer activities you used to enjoy. You can bring them back. You can throw the ball with your kid. You can run around. You can do triathlons, whatever you're into. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in taking healing properties from your own body, by the way, and applying them directly into your achy joint. So your joint tissue can be repaired and restored naturally. This treatment is truly revolutionary out there. Patients across America have had life-changing results, and there's no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime. So if you have pain in your knees, your back, your shoulders, your hips, you need to stop what you're doing and call QC Kinetics right now for a free consultation. I'm telling you, you're going to love what they do. They've been doing it for a long time in this market. They've been in this market just a short amount of time, but the people in the market have really loved what they've been able to do. It's QC Kinetics. They are the ones to call whenever you are in hip pain, back pain, you name it. You've got to do it. Call QC Kinetics up now.
Are you looking for investment options that potentially outpace today's high inflation environment? Concerned about recent banking failures or the volatility of the stock and crypto markets? Call Caliber to learn how you can invest in commercial real estate investments right here in Bryan College Station that support the community while producing real returns for investors. Caliber, the wealth development company, partnering with the community to build a better tomorrow. 979-977-2950. That's 979-977-2950. The investments and services offered may not be suitable for all investors. You should seek advice from an independent financial advisor.
On Sports Talk, Chip visits with author Chris Alexander about his new book on the 1960s horror movies adapted from Edgar Allan Poe stories.
Well, growing up loving monsters and horror films kind of makes you two things. It makes you a little bit out of step with your peers, but it also makes you a point of fascination with your peers. So I never had any problems I never was second guessed my love of this stuff. And also my parents were very in love with weird movies too. So they allowed me to explore it.
Sports Talk, scaring listeners weekdays from 4 to 6 on The Zone.
Welcome back. TexAgs Radio presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. Richard Zane inside the Rollo Insurance Studio. But right now we're headed back out to the hotline, this time the video hotline, to chat with TexAgs senior recruiting analyst Jason Howe. Jason, how we doing?
I'm great. Survived a little hailstorm last night, but we're here. We're ready to go.
Had some hail up in North Texas, the Flower Mound area, home of the 6A state champion Flower Mound Jaguars.
Yeah.
How about that? But
exciting times. We had baseball-sized hail in celebration, I guess.
And you've survived some weather extremes the last couple of days. Have you rehydrated after your week at camp?
Yes. Getting the IV fluids in, a lot of, trying to find the Pedialyte, just definitely get things going. Got to keep the muscles from cramping. Maybe a little pickle juice. So it's been pretty crazy out there on the turf out there at camp. So
plenty of stuff to talk about. Obviously, the first week at Jimbo Fisher football camp was last week, and then they had a big weekend of official visitors in Aggieland as well. But I feel like I've done a disservice. I haven't said this name on air yet. Jordan Anthony, wide receiver.
Yes.
Transfer from Kentucky, committed to Texas A&M on Friday evening. Jason, what do Aggie fans need to know about the guy they're getting in Anthony?
He's incredibly fast. I think he's 10-1, 100 meter.
I've got the numbers in front of me at the he set the school record at Kentucky 10-16 in the 100 and was the former fastest high schooler in the world.
That's really fast. So he brings a lot of speed. He's a guy that can be a versatile threat. You put him out there, jet sweeps. He's not the biggest guy, but with that speed, you can even put him on the outside and just tell him to go, and just, get down the field and put the ball out there as far as you could throw it as a quarterback. So this is a really fun kind of guy that could be a playmaker in special teams as a return man. So he brings a lot to the table. Adds a dimension of speed that now with H-Chain out, off to the NFL and everything, the Aggies could use a little bit.
Comes to Texas A&M with 4 years of eligibility after redshirting last year. The 10th member of Texas A&M's transfer class, just the second receiver joining Jade Walker. Jason, what have you liked about what the Aggies have done through the portal this season?
For all the criticism they got about, how active they were early, I really like Coach Adazio. My goodness, what a guy coming in the clutch. Had connections with several guys. David Bailey at running back. You get another offensive lineman from Boston College. You got several guys that had connections to him one way or another throughout the transfer portal class. And then, I really like what they did at DB. Really solidified that area. Linebacker, you added J.D. Davis out of Jackson State. I think he has a chance to be somebody that finds the field early and often and gets out there and does some things. And I'll be honest, at camps, I've been loving what I've been seeing from Jade Walker. I mean, he's out there, just smiling away, getting to work. If he's on Instagram, always working on the jugs machine. That guy is just he seems to have really jumped right into the program and already making some waves. So I'm excited to see what he brings to the table.
Talk about guys putting in work. You and Broninger, as we shift gears with TexAgs senior recruiting analyst Jason Howe. The TexAgs recruiting team has turned around 17 interviews from the first week of Jimbo Fisher football camp alone. So it's a perfect.
And we got more coming.
Yeah, and you guys got more coming. That doesn't even include the official visit interviews, Jason. So perfect time to be a subscriber at TexAgs.com. Find that out at TexAgs.com/subscribe. And now as we do shift gears towards camp, how does camp look different? That's my first question, without the indoor facility as they continue construction on the new one, and how have the logistics changed as a result, just from what you've seen?
Well, I mean, first off, they used to check in right there in the indoor pretty much, and that has definitely changed. They moved over to the weight room to where that was where they were checking in and on the first day for the overnight campers. And then you had right there at the practice field with all the construction going on. They had a little gate right there on the side and had it all set up. And so, just registration and check-in was a bit different without the indoor where half of the camp used to be held. Especially the O-line, D-line, one-on-ones and drills, that got moved to inside Kyle Field, which is, pretty cool. It gives those guys a chance to work out inside the stadium a little bit and, get a feel for what Kyle has to offer there and, a little different atmosphere, but it is not covered. And it is very hot on that turf, and it is very hot out on those practice fields. And, the shade is few and far between. But I will say this, that training staff has the water and Gatorade there ready. So there's plenty of that to go around. But, it's definitely a little bit hotter. The logistics have changed a little bit, but the way they're running it, the way they're doing things and conducting business as far as drills and teaching, that's all the same.
A little hotter, less shade, but you got your St. Louis Cardinals baseball hat to protect that bald head because I know you're a Card super fan. Moving on, who are some of the standouts that really caught your eye from week one?
There was the first day, it was, Roman Seymour, 2026 quarterback out of Manville. He may have been the best quarterback I saw all weekend, or all week over the 4 sessions. He was spectacular. Big kid, strong arm, threw with accuracy, quick release. He's going to be one to watch there. Only has 5 offers right now. I look for that list to grow. Texas A&M was one of his first, I believe, last year. So the Aggies have been on him, and he's definitely given A&M a look, and but he definitely impressed just from an eyeball standpoint and the way he performed in drills. I thought Landon Rink on Friday, defensive lineman out of Cy-Fair 2025, that was probably the best day when it came to D lineman. And I thought he was head and shoulders above everybody else. And he was dealing with turf toe the whole time. But, didn't slow him down at all. This is another one that A&M's been really hot on, from early in, I want to say January was when they offered him. But, Texas legacy, but he seems to really like what he's seeing in A&M, and they're giving A&M a really, really good look. Coach E's doing a really good job there, developing that bond, and I think the Aggies have a shot there. Yeah, man, there were so many guys over the course of the week. Hilton Stubbs really caught my attention on day one. He was a guy that I thought had a chance to pick up an offer, and sure enough, he did. Safety out of Jacksonville. He's a he's a 4-star prospect by the services, and a guy that's already established himself as an Under Armour All-American, and he showed it. He came out and competed. He went toe-to-toe with Hardly Gilmore, another Florida prospect who was one of the top receivers all week, and he took him head on every single rep he could, and didn't win them all, but he learned and got better and took a lot of coaching, and obviously A&M liked what they saw there, BGA and TJ Rushing, but those are a few names for sure. I got to throw out Luke Farrelly, a 24 offer that they extended on Wednesday, who came in committed to Arizona. He's 6'3", 215 pounds. I want to say he's committed to Arizona as a linebacker, but he worked out as a tight end, and just a kind of versatile guy that's a mismatch. A piece that I don't know if he's going to be highly rated because he's a little bit of a tweener, but man, is he a problem? You could see that he has a lot of athleticism, catches the ball really well, and is a guy that you could line up in a lot of different spots, and he could be a threat, down the field, down the middle of the field, and make those tough catches in traffic, and just a guy that linebackers are going to hate and nickels aren't going to like any better.
I know in our show prep, when I was prepping for this interview, I asked you for a list of names that you wanted to talk about. I feel like you only talked about 5 of the 20 you sent me. So if you're feeling shorted out there listening, fear not. Almost all of the other guys Jason listed as standouts, either Jason or Brawny have interviewed. So TexAgs.com/subscribe, perfect time right now if you're recruiting.
I'm going to interrupt you because I'm sorry. Miles Davis. There's so many guys.
Yeah.
Dejon Petaway, Devin Sanchez, Kevin Otis, Joshua Moses. So many guys. James Simon was he may have been the most impressive prospect I saw all week on Wednesday. Dad's the offense coordinator at Grambling. Anyways, sorry, I stepped all over your toes there on that one.
No, you're good. That's just what I'm saying. There's so much content we couldn't fit it into this segment. So you got to go find it on your own on TexAgs.com. All that stuff is out there right now. Jason, I know another week of camp is coming up, and before we take the break and shift gears to the official visit weekend that was just had, can you go ahead and set the stage for the second week of Jimbo Fisher football camp across the street?
Expecting another big week. This week we saw 11 new offers, 19 prospect that had offers, and I got a feeling, there's going to be a ton of guys that are going to be coming in. Guys like Luke Farrelly that we don't even know about yet. They come in, they make a big impression, and they grab that offer. There's going to be a lot of new offers. There's going to be a lot of big-time prospects, and it's definitely going to be worth tuning into because I can throw out names right now, but the fact of the matter is all that stuff is subject to change anyways. So just tune in and get ready because Wednesday's going to be here, and we're going to have 4 great sessions on throughout the Wednesday to Friday. So it's going to be a good time.
And I'll see you then
to the
again.
Next official visit weekend.
Yep. All right. When we come back, we'll talk about the OV that was here this weekend. He's Jason Howe. I'm Richard Zane. You're listening to TexAgs Radio presented by David Gardner's Jewelers.
We are going. Are you ready? The Zone 1150 AM and 93.7 FM, where we respect all and fear none.
It's time.
Here we go!
Let's go!
Right now, we're talking about the Association of Former Students who have been around for over 140 years. They have helped Aggies from the beginning, right? That's what they do. They want to help the Aggie network, and I'm talking current students and former students, and that's why it's a big deal to be a part of the Association of Former Students. It's Aggies helping Aggies, and that's their mission. That is what they do, and they do it with scholarships, student assistance programs, Aggie Band, Silver Taps, Rain Day, class reunions, muster, tailgate. They gave Aggie Park to the university. That is like the biggest gift ever, and it is awesome. I hope you've checked it out. We walked through it just yesterday. Awesome gift that they gave to this university. They do other things like the Coaches Night during the month of May, where Jimbo's all over the place in Texas, talking to the fans, talking to the people that care so much about this university. That is what the association does, and they do it for you, which is why they've created IamTheWhy.com, a collection of stories about their why. You are their why, so they want you to tell your story about why they do what they do and why you love this university so much. You can upload your story, or you can just watch these awesome stories. It is IamTheWhy.com. IamTheWhy.com, the Association of Former Students.
Summer is the perfect time to enjoy the great outdoors, and what better way than a picnic? But why settle for just a picnic when you can add some fun and creativity to it with Epicures? From the backyard picnic, the neighborhood gathering, family reunion, company party, or pool party, Epicures has you covered. Fajita fiesta with all of the sides, a nacho blowout including beans and rice, or a grilled get-together with burgers, hot dogs, and chicken. The food is just the beginning. Choose an alcoholic or non-alcoholic bar, dessert bar, and of course the lawn games. Epicures can bring croquet, bocce ball, cornhole, horseshoes, giant Jenga, and even water balloons. This summer, let Epicures help you with your summer picnic. The possibilities are endless. Contact Epicures to book your summer picnic today at epicuresexperience.com. epicuresexperience.com.
Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, and Max Kellerman.
Jimmy Joe Pesci. Blessings on blessings to everybody on this show, the realest show on ESPN. Why I think Mike is better than LeBron. I'm going to tell you. Numbers don't lie. We're going to do numbers. If you put $100 on LeBron losing all his championships, you will be up $600. If you put $10,000 on Mike winning all his championships, you will be up $60,000. 60 versus 600.
You only put 100 on one, you put 10,000 on the other.
But, numbers don't lie, Max. Numbers don't lie. That's it. I understand that, but ain't nobody on the show a mathematician, so numbers don't lie.
Spend your mornings with Keyshawn, Jay Will, and Max, powered by WC Tractor. Mornings from 5 to 8 here on The Zone.
Sister cries out from her baby bed.
Welcome back. It's TexAgs Radio presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. Richard Zane inside the Rollo Insurance Studio. We got another segment out on the video hotline with TexAgs senior recruiting analyst Jason Howe, who's shaking his head at me for some unknown reason. Howler?
I just had the knock on the door from somebody. I'm assuming someone wanting to check roofs or something. And the dogs were going nuts. So I was trying to get them to be quiet while we were coming back.
Of course. Well, I can't hear any background noise from you either. So well done, Jason. Great job. I know you wrote last week that A&M's first official visit weekend of the summer went extremely well. So how did the encore do? How was the follow-up?
I think they had another big weekend. It was going in, we didn't expect any commitments, and you had a few guys that could possibly make a decision, but I think the objective was to move the ball. Was to continue to have positive momentum with a lot of these guys, and I think that's what they've done. All these guys are looking to take other visits, and A&M was just trying to really establish themselves firmly with a lot of these guys, and a lot of them are already talking about coming back for pool party weekend in July. So, you are making a lot of headway, and with a lot of these guys, I think you're already in pretty solid position. With guys like Blake Ivy and Nate Kibble, Miles O'Neal. So, yeah, and you had two commits for the first time. You had commits taking visits. So you had Ashton Funk and Tristan Jernigan, and I think overall, absolutely, it's what you wanted out of the weekend, and maybe if you would have added a commit or two, you might give it a higher rating. But overall, I thought the objective was achieved, and everybody seemed to leave happy and excited and liked what they saw and how organized it was, and the times that they were able to spend with the coaches and the players.
You mentioned the two A&M commits, Ashton Funk and Tristan Jernigan, who are here, then three other names. But who were the other big names that were in College Station, and who else do you think the Aggies are trending well with that were a part of this visitor list this past weekend?
Well, talk to Ori Williams, big guy out of San Marcos, offensive line. He's a guy we haven't talked about quite as much as some of the others, but this is a guy who dropped a lot of weight, has really reshaped his body, looks phenomenal. He's moving really well. He was part of a basketball team there at San Marcos that went incredibly deep in the playoffs. I want to say they made it to the semifinals. But, his cousin, Ruben Owens. So obviously we talked a little bit about opening up holes as a tackle for Ruben, and what that might look like. And if so he's, I think A&M's definitely established themselves there. He's got LSU. I want to say he's got LSU and Georgia visits coming up, and he's, Florida and USC are also in the mix. But I think, I like where A&M sits. I think being in Texas and, not super close to home, but close enough, I think that could end up being a great thing for A&M. Plus, having Ruben already on campus is nice. I think, Dominique McKinley, he's a pretty, he doesn't say a whole lot. He keeps to himself, but he returned for the second time. He visited with his family in the spring, and this was a chance for them to get back around Coach E and those coaches. 5-star, defensive linemen. I don't know if they're a favorite, but they're gonna be up there high on his list, and he's planning to take his time. So he took Ohio State. He's got OU and Texas coming up, and LSU is definitely in the mix there as well. So, but A&M has done a great job of getting him in town, and I think they're going to be a player there and further establish themselves with him and his family. Papa Afua out of Seattle O'Day is another one we've been hearing really good things about. I mentioned, Miles O'Neal. It sounds like Jordan Lockhart had a really good visit as well. I know USC is going to be tough to beat there, but, and he's got an official coming up there, but sounds like the Aggies continue to build on the momentum they established in the spring when he visited. So I think A&M has done very well with him, getting Zena Omozolo back on campus. His father was the first time he took a visit, so making a positive impression there is essential, especially with his brother over at Texas. Mm-hmm. So if you want to be in that fight, you gotta get after it, and it sounds like A&M did just that, over the weekend.
Great news, Jason. And before we let you go, one name I want to ask about, and I believe you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe he was here on an unofficial visit. one of the best nicknames I've ever seen, DeAndre Tiger Ridden in town. What have you heard from him?
Well, one of the big things he wanted to do, he's one of the top running backs in the state for 25. He's a big versatile back, every down back, and he wanted to get in. He already had a relationship with Jimbo, and he had a really good relationship with Tommy Robinson when he was here, but he hadn't really had the opportunity to sit down and really dig deep with Coach Blackwell yet, and that was a huge objective for him on this trip, and they did just that. They sat down and they really got to know each other, and A&M has been high on his list from the very beginning. A&M offered him last spring, so they've been on him for a long time, and getting him on campus and with Coach Blackwell was a top priority for him and for A&M. And I think overall it went great. They really hit it off and got to know each other and see what it would look like if he were to go to A&M. So that's big. That's big all over the place there. So Tiger Riding is definitely a name to keep an eye on.
Jason Howe, before we let you go, quick on-air content meeting. How many more Q&As can TexAgs Premium subscribers expect, and what other official visit content do you got coming down this week?
Well, it looks like I'm going to have at least one more. I'm looking at a couple more, camp-related stories from last week. I've got 3 more official visit interviews I'm getting typed up and written out, or put in the admin in different capacities. So should have some of that coming out today. And I know I've got a couple more interviews I'm trying to line up. So should be a fun few days with, what's that, like, I don't know, 8 pieces of content.
Yeah, your byline's going to be all over the website. Absolutely putting Ryan Broninger to shame, no doubt about that. Jason, thanks so much for taking time out of your morning to join me, and we'll see you on Wednesday here in Aggieland.
Always, man. Looking forward to it.
He's Jason Howe, TexAgs Senior Recruiting Analyst. Time for another break, and right here on TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. When we come back, we'll go around Aggieland with Taylor Swift superfan Kay Nagley.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on The Zone. Voices for Children is hosting its annual back-to-school clothing drive to provide children in foster care new clothes and backpacks. Visit vfcbrazos.org for more information on the Shop for Casa back-to-school drive. United Way in Brazos Valley invites you to take part in its upcoming Day of Action. Help assemble 1,500 baby bundles for local newborns the morning of Wednesday, June 21st at SOS Ministries. Find more information and sign up at uwbv.org. The Adam Reuter Masonic Lodge in Welburn is holding a pork butt fundraiser. Find the lodge on Facebook for more information. Stage Center Theater presents Last Roundup of the Guacamole Queens. Performances run June 8th through the 24th. Tickets are available at stagecenter.net. Sign up for the Zone All Access newsletter brought to you by Caliber, the wealth development company. Sign up now at zone1150.com. That's your community calendar. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
We're talking Caldwell Country Chevrolet. They're on Highway 21 and online at caldwellcountrychevrolet.com. Great deals on the website that change month to month. Go check out that website right now. If you're in the market for a new vehicle, or if you think you're going to be in the market for a new vehicle this summer, just go take a look, see what they got. They got great stuff, right? Great pricing, great vehicles, and get a sense for where things are in the market. And then when you're ready to take the next step, you go out there to Caldwell Country Chevrolet, and you're like, I want to take a look at that Tahoe I saw online. All right, sir, well, we got this Tahoe, but we also have this Suburban, and we got this, and we got that. Take a look. Enjoy the great customer service and the atmosphere there at Caldwell Country Chevrolet. Find out the trade-in value that you might be getting on a new vehicle. All those things are a major hit when you go to Caldwell Country Chevrolet. It's about a 15-minute drive. Brian Caldwell, a short conversation away, but you'll see the difference when you step on the lot and do business with the fellows there at Caldwell Country Chevrolet. Highway 21 in Caldwell, online, caldwellcountrychevrolet.com.
It's mowing season in the Brazos Valley, and you can make quick work on your property with a zero-turn rider mower from Ferris or Cub Cadet. Hi, this is David, reminding you whether you're mowing a lawn or a large commercial property, Kyra's Truck Center has what you need in stock right now to get you started. Stop by and let us show you how to make mowing as close to fun as it gets with a zero-turn rider at Kyra's Truck Center. Highway 21, half-mile east of the bypass in Bryan.
You can hear Houston Astros baseball all season, all postseason long on the Zone, 1150 AM and 93.7 FM, and select games on Gospel, 97.3 FM. Astros baseball brought to you by Kelly Burt Dozer. All season long, Houston Astros baseball on the Zone and select games on Gospel, 97.3 FM. Astros baseball brought to you by Kelly Burt Dozer.
Closing out the 9 o'clock hour here on TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. Richard Zane inside the Rollo Insurance Studio, joined now by Kay Nagley, who is prepared to take us around Aggieland, presented by Norman G. State Bank. Norman G. State Bank, rock solid banking. Visit their website at normangstatebank.com. She's back from vacation, and she's back with more Texas A&M headlines. Kaylin?
I am. Oh, just take over the
full
floor
name,
like that.
Kaylin.
You're killing it, by the way, today.
Oh, you're very kind.
You're welcome. Okay,
Flattery will get you nowhere. I don't control the paycheck.
I've figured that out by now.
Sorry.
So first up, we have some track and field news. Over the weekend, they wrapped up their season and also wrapped up all of A&M sports at the NCAA Outdoor Championships in Austin. The women's team finished the event in 5th place with 36 points, while the men came in 22nd with 11 points. The women claimed their 4th straight top 5 finish, giving Pat Henry a total of 20 top 5 team finishes with this time at Texas A&M. I mean, that guy is a legend.
He is a legend, super consistent, just one of the best coaches in any sport ever.
Yep.
Who are some of the standouts from that meet?
Yeah, so we have Lamar Disson, unfortunately did not claim first as she does
Kind of shocking.
I think all 3 past years.
It would have been her 4th outdoor national title, I believe.
Yeah, so she claimed 2nd at the nationals, and then who else? We got the women's 4x4 got 2nd place. Connor Schulman got 7th in the 110-meter hurdles, and then the men's 4x4 got 5th place as well. Moving on, we have some pretty exciting news in the softball side of things.
Softball.
Trisha Ford announced the signing of Arizona State transfer Jasmine Hill on Friday. The incoming graduate student has appeared in 178 games, including 132 under Ford when she was at Arizona State. Her numbers include a .318 average, 6.31 slugging percentage, .408 on-base percentage, and most notably, in her 3 seasons at Ford's program, registered 138 hits, including 30 home runs and 30 doubles. So
another big addition.
They
for
are
the
bring
Maroon
a
White.
big addition.
It's going to be fun at Davis Diamond.
I know. I'm excited for the next year. It just seems like they keep building on and on. Some team sports related. Sam Bennett competed at the RBC Canadian Open this past weekend. He shot 4 under par yesterday in the final round. This led him to finish 8 under par and placed him tied for 20th place in his 2nd professional tournament, and I'm sure he's making the big bucks now.
I can tell you how much he's making thanks to the dueling banjos in the back. Caden Brighton, $102,000 for a tie for 20th. How about that?
That's a nice little check hitting the bank.
It's going to take me a couple years to make $102,000.
Yeah, we all picked the wrong profession, guys.
I know.
We should have been
golfers.
golfers.
What are we doing, guys? I mean, this is just...
I can't even hit it straight at Top Golf.
Yeah,
Go
that
ahead.
is
You got
actually,
anything else, Kay?
That is a fact. So yeah, as we talked about earlier, class of '94, Ben Keating and his Corvette racing team were able to win the GT class at Le Mans, and then Austin Krychek.
You killed it.
I
Great
did.
pronunciation.
Thank you. I'm trying my hardest.
You didn't ask during the break or anything.
No,
Fantastic.
not at all. I don't need practice at all. He was class of 2011. He won in men's doubles at the French Open this weekend. The win puts him at number 1 in the world.
Yeah, and I believe he is the first Aggie to ever win a Grand Slam championship of of course, Steve Denton won at the U.S. Open in 1982. He was a Texas player, now Texas A&M head coach. Fantastic news from Austin Krajicek. That's just, I mean, he's one of the greatest in program history, and now he's got a Grand Slam to his name.
Yeah.
Very few can say that.
Good week for the Aggies.
Yeah, you think
Aggies
so?
all around.
Now, Kay, I got a question for you.
Okay.
Were you upset at some of the surprise songs Taylor played in Detroit this
Oh my
weekend?
gosh. I mean, all you had to do is, this is so not our audience, but all
This
you
is
had to
very
do was stay
you,
was a
though.
loss. But yeah, well, I was on vacation, so I wasn't really like paying attention that much, unfortunately.
Are you for real?
I am
you're
very for real. I was watching the first Stanford game on my phone during when we were watching. We were like at a piano bar, and I was like, I have to watch. But
Gotcha.
that's all I really kept up with.
Gotcha. Well, Kay, you did a great job
Thank
presenting
you.
around Aggieland. Hopefully you'll stick around during the third hour and hopefully read more text messages from the A&B text line, and maybe we'll hear some Taylor Swift on bumper music moving forward. That's been the 9 o'clock hour. When we come back, the man, the myth, the legend, the source, Billy Liucci, will be in studio on TexAgs Radio, presented by David
You
Gardner.
can listen to Aggie football, basketball, and baseball on your Amazon Dot or Echo. Step 1, say Alexa, enable Zone 1150 skill. Step 2, anytime you want to hear fighting Texas Aggie football, Texas A&M women's basketball, or Aggie baseball, all you have to do is say, Alexa, play Zone 1150. It's that simple to listen to your favorite A&M teams that play on the Zone with your Amazon Dot or Echo. Make sure to say one time, Alexa, enable Zone 1150 skill. Then say, Alexa, play Zone 1150.
23 million small businesses are open for business in the United States, providing more than half of all American jobs. What helps these small businesses thrive? Good transportation, a well-trained labor force, and a healthy infrastructure, an attractive streetscape, and comfort and safety for pedestrians. Good planning delivers these benefits to small businesses. Learn more at planning.org. That's planning.org. A message from this station and the American Planning Association.
Your home for Aggie baseball, Aggie basketball, and Aggie football is The Zone, 1150 AM and 93.7 FM, plus online at RadioAggieland.com. This is KZNE College Station Bryan.
From WTAW, I'm Chelsea Reber with a news update on The Zone. College Station Police is asking for information related to 2 weekend reports of gunfire where no one was hit and no arrests have been made. One was last night at the Halston Apartments, formerly known as Laurel Ridge at Tarot and Spring Loop. And Saturday night, a fight in a hookah restaurant and bar moved outside and led to gunfire in the parking lot of the Park Place Plaza at Texas and Southwest Parkway. Bryan police seized during the search of a car $8,000 of what officers believe is powder cocaine, crack cocaine, Adderall that contained methamphetamine, Xanax, ecstasy, oxycodone, and almost 4 pounds of marijuana. That led to the arrest of 35-year-old Jazare Johnson of Bryan, someone in the BPD arrest report who was seen moving items in and out of the car. Johnson was released from his 21st visit to the Brazos County Jail in 18 years after posting bonds totaling $72,000. A new superintendent for College Station ISD schools could be named later today. CSISD board members could select a sole finalist during a special meeting that begins at noon. An undisclosed number of candidates were interviewed during 5 days of special meetings. When a sole finalist is named, there is a 21-day waiting period before the hiring becomes official. Today's agenda also includes hiring 6 assistant principals and making changes in the district's stipends for special education positions. Brazos County commissioners expressed no opposition to the future renovation of the county's administration building. Purchasing agent Charles Went says results of a feasibility study include turning the one-floor sanctuary area of the former church into 2 floors. Much of the first floor would be a multi-purpose room.
You'd be able to seat 150 people in just chairs. We would have a computer training room to handle 40 people at tables with computers. That would take potentially the place of the current IT room that they have at the IT building.
The second floor would be reserved for future development. For more news, go to WTAW.com. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
Are you looking for investment options that potentially outpace today's high inflation environment? Concerned about recent banking failures or the volatility of the stock and crypto markets? Call Caliber to learn how you can invest in commercial real estate investments right here in Bryan College Station that support the community while producing real returns for investors. Caliber, the wealth development company, partnering with the community to build a better tomorrow. 979-977-2950. That's 979-977-2950. The investments and services offered may not be suitable for all investors. You should seek advice from an independent financial advisor.
At Taco Bell, we like to keep mornings simple because before 11 a.m., you're not down for whatever.
No.
You're not interested in trying new things.
No.
You want a breakfast that's toned down and delicious, like the Breakfast Crunch Wrap with fluffy eggs, sausage, melty cheese, and a crispy hash brown and a grilled tortilla.
I want to eat that.
See? You may not be a morning person, but it's morning, and you're a person. Taco Bell breakfast, served until 11 a.m. At participating Taco Bell stores during breakfast hours only while supplies last.
I'm Sean Burnett with your Aggie Sports Minute on The Zone. This update is brought to you by Hilco Metal Roofing and Supply. Call 936-825-0500 or click hillcosupply.com. At the NCAA Track and Field Championship over the weekend, the Aggie men's 4x400-meter squad earned a fifth-place finish. The Texas A&M women's team finished fifth overall at the competition, claiming their fourth straight top-5 finish. That gives Coach Pat Henry a total of 20 top-5 finishes in his time at Texas A&M. Good news for A&M women's tennis as head coach Mark Weaver announced the addition of sophomore transfer Nicole Kieran from the University of Texas to next year's roster. She earned Big 12 Player of the Year and Freshman of the Year honors following her outstanding collegiate debut campaign for the Longhorns. The sophomore from Israel joins the Aggies following a decorated rookie season. Kieran was named to the All-Big 12 Singles First Team, Big 12 All-Freshman Team, Big 12 All-Tournament Team, and was awarded Big 12 Individual Champion accolades for the #1 singles. Adding to her long list of conference awards, Kieran was also named the Intercollegiate Tennis Association's Texas Regional Rookie of the Year. Texas A&M Men's Tennis Hall of Fame inductee Austin Krajicek won the first Grand Slam title of his career following a dominant performance in the final of the French Open doubles tournament Saturday. And that's your Aggie Sports Minute, brought to you by Hilco Metal Roofing and Supply. On The Zone, I'm Sean Burnett.
On the Louis Bellina Show, presented by B&B Automotive and Superior Auto Service, sure, we have a lot of fun, but we also like to break things down. Each Monday, we look back at the weekend that was, and we look at the key to the weekend. And on Fridays, we look ahead and you give me your lock of the weekend. And it's all brought to you by Griffin Locksmith. Whether it's your home or business, you're having trouble with your locks, it's never fun. And you can contact Griffin Locksmith at 822-2705.
Okay, we ask, and Sean delivers.
I mean, the man is just on fire today. This is great.
He is killing it.
He is. He
Not a
picked
single
one of the
complaint on the bumper music, at least as far
iconic songs. Iconic. This is like the pop song.
The
Yes. Tell me a better pop song.
I mean,
I will have a lot of people disagree with me.
the pop song. I mean, Michael Jackson probably has about 10 pop songs.
Okay, how about in the 2000s era?
2000s era?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a lot that are probably better than Blank Space. I don't even think Blank Space is Taylor Swift's best.
Yeah.
Maybe off of that album, because that album wasn't very good.
Okay, well, you're a big Speak Now guy. So.
Yeah, well, because Speak Now's the best. Period. There are no skips, and you know this. We've had this discussion on air and off air.
I know. Just saying.
Am I wrong? You're going to tell me I'm wrong?
I have not said you're wrong, and I am very excited for July 7th. Comes out.
Yeah, Taylor's version. Well,
here is the man himself.
Look who's walking in right now. The
Ask
man
him.
himself. What is it, Billy? What is
in the zipper?
What is your favorite Taylor Swift album?
Album? I don't know. We've gone through this. We did that thing the other day. I don't know her albums.
That's okay.
I just know songs.
Do you have any bumper music requests that you would like to hear for the rest of the 10 o'clock hour?
I mean, is it got to be Swift?
No, you can it's your show. You
Okay,
can go
let
anywhere.
me think about it.
Okay.
I'll think about it.
He's TexAgs co-owner and executive editor Billy Liucci. I'm Richard Zane inside the Rollo Insurance
Richard.
Studio. You're
I
listening
like your
to...
voice. It's very animated
Is
and
it?
up and down.
Am I
today.
doing well today?
That's why I tell Yoda, like, I don't want him to be monotone because I'm monotone. So it's a lot of monotone if you come in here and it's like the whisper hour.
And I know that when I'm sitting in this chair, I have the tendency to be way too professional.
Yeah, no.
And you don't like
No.
you're trying to coach that out of me, so I feel like I'm.
Well, I think the people deserve to see the zany zipper.
The Zaniac.
Yeah, the Zaniac, not. Yeah, exactly. Zany Zane.
How was Parker McCollum this weekend?
Good, very good. It was good. Gary Allen was good. Yeah, it was fun. We had a good time. Someone we were with may or may not have been booing Parker during the show from like the fourth row. 2 thumbs down.
Do I know this person?
No, but by the end of the night, she may or may not have been booing Parker with double thumbs down. Not because she didn't like the performance. It was just she was just decided to boo him.
It's weird. Why would anybody just do that? Just to
story,
do it?
But it's funny.
Can't wait to hear.
We did see some Aggies there. So those of you that I talked to, great show.
Yeah, 2 thumbs
up. He gets better and better.
No booze.
He gets better and better as he goes. You know, like the shows are getting better.
I haven't seen him since pre-COVID when he played at Harry's.
Oh, you were there?
Yeah, I was there.
I was there with Seth.
Oh, goodness.
Seth had himself a night that night.
Did he have himself a bigger night after Alabama or after Parker McCollum?
About the same.
Oh, really?
He loves him some Parker.
Walrus.
We'll make fun of Seth one time. Seth faced or called me on speaker professing his love for Parker and how I had to go to the show with him, and Parker was sitting right there listening. Seth didn't know. He's like, "You don't understand. I love him. I've got to go see him. You don't understand how much I love this guy. We got to go." And I was like, "I think we can pull it off."
I'm trying to picture it.
And his daughters, Seth's daughters were so embarrassed when I told that story because they all like Parker. And
Yeah.
so they're like, "Oh my God, Dad, no."
I'm trying to envision Seth like pleading to go see Parker McCollum because he's such a big dude, and to use a Broningerism, he could literally rip my arms off my body and beat me with them.
Yeah.
So like to picture a guy of his size and stature and his football career begging to go see Parker McCollum is pretty hilarious.
No, it was great. It was great.
Among other hilarious Seth stories.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
Well, where would you like to begin this show? I've got a number of topics from recruiting to baseball to end of the 2022-23 athletic calendar. I mean, I didn't talk about it in the 8 o'clock hour with Olin, and we talked about it with Jason Howe. A&M got a commitment on Friday evening in the form of Jordan Anthony, Kentucky wide receiver via the transfer portal. So, well, let's go ahead and start there with Jordan Anthony.
Jordan Anthony, obviously speed, and more speed. You look at this guy, even in a 60, is timing faster than Devon Achane. So
that's nuts.
Aggie fans were well aware of Achane's speed on a football field. Jordan Anthony is a guy that I believe, say it was Petrino. The members of the A&M staff were familiar with Jordan Anthony before he ended up at Kentucky. So he's a guy that was identified as soon as he went in the portal, like he's a get, he's a take. I like it, Zane, because it adds a little something different. He's very small. He's very small. I've actually seen him in person, and he is. I haven't checked. He's 5'7". I know height. He can't be.
It says in Howe's story 5'9", 160 pounds.
Yeah, I don't think he's.
That's
5'9".
Richard Zane sized.
I don't think he's. Yeah, you think he's smaller than you. But
wow.
I say 5'7". He might be 5'8". Altuve is like 5'5".
Okay.
Jose Altuve is the most impressive athlete I've ever seen when you compare with like what he does. With what he does. Kay's over there laughing.
Well, the reason I say that is my grandfather has said he is the most Altuve is the most impressive baseball player he's ever seen when you factor in height.
I agree with that.
So,
and here,
and
athlete period to me, because when I see, like, when you see NBA players, and particularly with what I do with football, the NFL guys, and you see like just how enormous some of them walk in a room, they look like a cartoon character. Like, I think just of Houston, right? And you think of J.J. Watt, and I mean, he's a 6'6". There's a guy on Twitter that just hates when I mention people that I know because it really upsets him because he's a freaking loser with no life but to worry about me. And I said it again, you have the invite to come step into this office whenever you want. Anyway, JJ is like 6'6", probably 300 pounds. You mentioned Seth, and you see Seth and Steve, and they're so much smaller. Big Pants will come in here looking like a cartoon character.
Lord Goodwin, who apparently has a soda now.
Your favorite head coach. Yeah, your favorite head coach, Dan. I mean, these dudes, you look at like Myles Garrett, and all of them, and Mike Evans. But I'll even go baseball, and you think of these baseball greats, these infielders, and you think of even, and I know he's not probably to that level, but his infield mate, Carlos Correa is like 6'4",
big shortstop,
6'3", 6'4". You think of like Jeter's a big dude.
Cal Ripken was
Ripken. Oh, there's so many.
Well,
And then there's normal size guys.
Even to keep it close to home, Jace is a true freshman. Jace is like 6'6".
Well, but then there's normal size guys that play baseball. Most baseball players, I think, are kind of normal sized dudes. But then there's Altuve. And when I met him, you shake his hand, and first of all, like forearms look like Popeye, but he's 5'5". He's not 5'6", he is 5'5". He is so little, and it's amazing that he can be that good and hit with that much power and be, he's going to be, I think, when it's all said and done, a first ballot Hall of Famer. I know that would be an interesting debate to have. He needs to stay healthy, but give me 5 more years of this Altuve. I mean, I think he's going to be. I'd like to study it. We don't need to do that on air because I know you've probably got a lot of those numbers, but during the commercial, I'd be interested to look.
I mean, all I know is that Altuve, not even factoring in whatever scandal he was or wasn't a part of, all I know is that his WAR to this point in his career compared to other second basemen, which is a very underrepresented position in the Hall of Fame, is about average for the fringe of making the Hall of Fame. But I agree with you. He's a fantastic player, and that takes a lot for me to admit publicly, but obviously not. He's great.
He's won an MVP. He's won a couple World Series. Maybe if he can get a third World Series and be a big part, and then I can take your WAR.
World Series championships or should be factored in or valued into the Hall of Fame career. I mean, there are a ton of players that never even played in postseason that deserve to be in. So
that's why I think it should be valued.
It's probably going to push him over that. No, I'm just saying the third one. What if a third world championship going to push him over the top?
No, 2's enough. No. My point is this: you can take all that WAR, fold it up,
throw it away. Well, you wanted to talk about numbers.
I know, but what I'm saying is you can do that. I'm going to say, how many postseasons home runs has this guy hit? How many walk-off postseason home runs? How many? My point is, to date, and he's got more work to do, his career highlights are like kind of almost like legendary when compared to other people that have ever played the game. So, yeah, maybe he gets in based on his postseason heroics. Anyway, let's go on back to Jordan Anthony.
Yeah,
we talked about how different Altuve is. Jordan Anthony, as a let's call it a 5'8" wide receiver, A&M doesn't have a forget his size for a minute. They don't have anyone with that kind of speed because that kind of speed is rare. He's a legit track guy at Kentucky. That he's going to do both sports today.
He set the school record for a freshman. Anyways,
he can flat out go, and they don't have that in this receiving core. They have some speed, but they needed more speed anyway. I don't think, the guys they sign. I think Micah Tease can go, but not like this. And they don't, Evan Stewart can run, not like that. Moose is not a straight up blazer. Noah can run, but at 6'5", it's a different kind of speed. and they need more speed in the receiving corps. And Bobby Petrino is used to having that kind of speed. Jimbo Fisher had the kid Kermit Whitfield when he won a title at Florida State, who could just flat out fly. Jimbo's had A-Chain for the last 3 years. They need some of that element on this football team, and I think that's a start, and that's a step, and it's a guy with a little experience to him. So you think he could come in and impact you right away. And maybe it's in the return game, or maybe it's in the return game next year when Aniyah Smith leaves. Who knows? But I like the addition. I like just becoming a faster football team, and that's what this kid does.
He's got 4 years to play after redshirting last year. Yeah. He's the 10th A&M addition through the portal, the second wideout. Do you like what the Aggies have done through the portal thus far?
Yeah.
And are they done?
You never say done, but we're getting close up to it now. So they very well could be done. I mean, we're in mid-June essentially.
And is it enrollment issues for why you're getting up towards that deadline?
No, I just think in order to come in and have an impact this year,
Okay.
I'm sure now they could add somebody that maybe is not going to have much of an impact, but the kids are already here and starting summer workouts.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You bring a new guy into your program midway through summer workouts, the odds of him making an immediate impact start to go down now by the day.
Okay.
And so that's that. And then also sometimes with these transfers, they might need 2 semesters of summer school. To me, though, I like what they did in the portal. I do. I don't love it because I've got to reserve love for when they start taking these real cats. The guys that everyone in the country that you're trying to beat wanted, and you got them. That to me is when you start doing, we can say what we want about who A&M got. They'd love to have the linebacker at USC. They'd love to have the linebacker that LSU got. They'd love to have A.D. Mitchell from Georgia who went to Texas, your rival. There's others out there that we know when we reported that A&M would have loved to have gotten. They didn't get them. So for me to love it, they got to have some of those type guys. But that doesn't mean that they're not going to get a lot out of this portal. They went in and got a lineman that had started some games at UMass. They went and got Boston College. I really like what they did in the secondary.
Mm-hmm.
You go get 2 guys that have gotten all ACC mention, a former 5-star that you know everything about in Tony Grimes, and then you go get a young, uber talented guy in McCall from Florida State. I love what they did there. I like adding a linebacker from Jackson State that was insanely productive. I would have liked for them to add 2 linebackers. I would have liked for them to have gotten him and the guy from Oklahoma State that ended up at USC. I would have loved that. So I like what they got there. I like adding a fullback from Rice and Johnson. I like adding a guy that actually plays fullback because you're going to utilize him, and he's a veteran, and he's from here, and I think that's a great add. And I'll say this. What I have heard, early returns, the quarterback from Fresno, they're really okay. He throws it better, I think, than even people were expecting.
Henderson.
And think about that. That was a need. Fullback is a need. A productive older linebacker, a need. They're not filling them with giant names, but to have that 4th scholarship quarterback this year was an absolute need. Is it insurance? Yeah. Is it a down the road thing that could really pay off? Yeah. But it was a need, and a need that they addressed. At receiver, the guy that's really interesting right now is Walker. When all day Walker, when they took him, it was at Grand Valley State. A lot of people, okay, and there were some bigger name receivers that I would have liked to have seen A&M get too. You think about the guy from Michigan State, who the Aggies didn't, thought they might land for a few days there and didn't get. Walker, but I said Walker, but A&M's Walker, Jade. So he was 5'7" coming out of high school and grew 5 inches. And he's a different receiver than when he was coming out of high school, which is why he was so under-recruited. But he's a guy that now more than one person, in fact, 3 if I'm going to be really exact, in just a few days' time are really talking about like what he's doing athletically and conditioning stuff, but even when they're out there throwing the football around. I've had some of the players tell me, man, this dude. Now, again, this is without pads, but first impression, he's actually made a pretty big first impression in a week's time. So just interesting little tidbits from over there across the street. I like what they did in the portal. I think what they did in the portal will help this year's football team in a lot of ways. I think it helps this year's football team. Now, again, I want to see them do a better job in terms of landing no-brainer impact guys. Like that talent that we talk about, that overall talent level, those guys that Alabama, Georgia, LSU, Florida, Texas, OU, that everybody wants.
Yep.
I want them to get, you sprinkle in, just even if you would have sprinkled in 2 of those to go with what you had. Before you cut to a break, remember how everyone was saying Jimbo's not even going to be able to field a team this year?
Mm-hmm.
Media, TexAgs posters. He was so far behind, he had no chance to catch up and fill the roster. Even I was like sitting there going, I'm a little concerned numbers-wise. They are going to field, they're going to be perfectly fine on scholarship guys this year. Once again, it was premature panic over nothing. I know people will say, well, look what you lost. You lost so much talent. Did you bring as much of that in? My answer would be no, raw talent. But for this year, I said this a couple weeks ago, for this year, the players coming in are going to help this team win more than the guys that left.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a couple of exceptions. There's an Anthony Lucas, but then my response to that would be, yeah, but A&M's also so damn deep on the D-line. DJ Hicks could come in and be better in a month than Anthony Lucas was going to be this year, and Anthony Lucas could be an NFL player out of USC. You just don't know. But my point is, yes, him, but you lost him at your deepest position on the team. And yes, Denver Harris, but who is Denver Harris really?
Yep.
He couldn't have played here. The bridges were burned. Can he even play at LSU? He's talented enough to start there, but it already has sounded more than once like, behind the scenes at Brian Kelly, it's kind of like a day-to-day thing to see how that's going to work out.
Gotcha.
But team-wise, you took what left versus what came in. They're better equipped to win games this year with this group than the group that left.
Before we hit the break, did you figure out a vibe for bumper music the rest of the hour?
Yeah, you know what? Like some Bob Seger-ish.
Oh, yeah.
Mellencamp. I mean, I'm going different, but just that little like Mellencamp, Seger, maybe some like Bruce Hornsby, Mandolin Rain.
All right.
Anything Seger works for me right now.
Perfect.
Some road tripping music.
Awesome. It's TexAgs Radio presented by David Gardner's Jeweler. More Billy Liucci when we come back.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on The Zone. Come out to a Juneteenth Freedom Day celebration this Saturday at the Carver Event Center from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Free food, fun, and activities for the whole family. The theater company of Bryan College Station presents SpongeBob the Musical. Performances run through Sunday. Purchase tickets online at theatercompany.com/tickets. Early registration is open for the 15th annual Buffalo Stampede Race, presented by the Brazos Valley Museum of Natural History. Use code EARLYBIRD23 for 20% off. Register at brazosvalleymuseum.org. Students entering grades 8 through 12 are invited to a free cybersecurity camp at Texas A&M this summer. 3 sessions are available, but space is limited, so apply now. Visit hprc.tamu.edu. Are you free afternoons from 4 to 6? Chip Howard is hiring for an assistant producer. No prior experience is required. Apply now at zone1150.com. That's your community calendar. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
Right now we're talking Coach DeVito. That's Holly's place. It's great. Go check out Holly and her crew there. Holly and Nick do wonderful work out there, and it's just awesome food to go get here in South College Station. Go check it out. Fresh Mex done the right way, and they're open all day, right? You go there for your breakfast, get your breakfast tacos, your great coffee. If you need to have a meeting, that's a great place to have a morning meeting, get good food. And then if you want to stick around for lunch, great food as well. It's fresh, done right in front of you, and they got great stuff on their specials out there. They have the chili lime chicken for a limited time. They're going to have this throughout the month of June, and if you guys keep buying it, maybe they'll be able to keep it around a little bit longer out there. And we are still in baseball season. And Ryan Targac, Targo with the homer yesterday, they got the Ryan Targac combo there. So wonderful to go check it out and eat and enjoy awesome food. And catering for any kind of party you may be having, wedding, they can take wonderful care of you with all their fresh Mex food done the right way. It is Costa Vida, fresh there in South College Station. Go say hi to Holly and the crew and check it out. It's Costa Vida. David Nuno here to talk about how much I love Legacy Workspaces located in the heart of College Station on Longmire. Let me tell you something. Big box office spaces done, finished, done. Legacy Workspaces is leading the way in modern, affordable, impressive officing. So many great amenities like reserved parking, free office supplies on demand, impressive conference rooms to host your clients, and some of the best coffee in town. Ay que rico, repeatedly voted best of the Brazos Valley. Visit legacyworkspaces.com and leave your legacy today.
On Sports Talk, Chip visits with author Chris Alexander about his new book on the 1960s horror movies adapted from Edgar Allan Poe stories.
Well, growing up loving monsters and horror films kind of makes you two things. It makes you a little bit out of step with your peers, but it also makes you a point of fascination with your peers. So I never had any problems I never was second guessed my love of this stuff. And also my parents were very in love with weird movies too. So they allowed me to explore it.
Sports Talk, scaring listeners weekdays from 4 to 6 on The Zone.
He's not even here to hear Hollywood Nights, like Nick.
Well, it's not like he was going to put in headphones anyway.
No, that's
but
true.
You can tell him that Sean followed through.
Yeah, Sean, you're doing incredible work back there at Bryan Broadcasting and Mothership. Billy, Nick.
There you go, Cade. Show the wide shot. There we go. Yeah. He's coming in.
Way to go, Cade.
Cade Ingersoll.
Ingersoll, not even paying attention. It was Hollywood Nights, by the way, by Bob Seger.
Not one of my favorites.
I like that song. I think it's fantastic.
Well,
what is your
Zane,
favorite
I'm
Seger
glad they're
song?
here to please you today because you're the host.
Thank you. What is your favorite Seger song?
I do like Against the Wind. I do like Turn the Page. But I think Against the Wind or Night Moves probably.
Yeah.
A little cliche, but
Against
I'm
the
not.
Wind's
I wouldn't
fantastic.
call myself a. Where did he come from?
He's just...
What in the world?
Is he still here?
Dalton's
he was
back
here
there in
during
the back.
break.
I had no idea.
Is he using
I can't
the mic?
see him. I just heard his voice.
Dalton, are you using the mic or no?
No.
No? Yeah, he did say Billy would like Night Moves.
Yeah, I do like Night Moves.
Well, I didn't even know he was still in the studio.
I didn't either.
He's just lurking. My guy.
Either.
Got to get your thoughts on this, Billy. Over the weekend, Saturday, Austin Krajicek winning doubles at the French Open, his first Grand Slam championship. Just
come close, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing. I remember him as a player here. He was great. Really good dude. Happy for him and Denton and A&M tennis. And that's, we're talking about tennis majors. And Denton, has won. Steve's won Grand Slam majors.
Yeah, he won the
himself in doubles.
1982 U.S. Open doubles title.
Steve Denton, you can name every head coach that's ever come on this campus, and I don't think there's a one of them that's more accomplished than that guy. Have you ever read up on Steve?
I looked up his Wikipedia page a little bit this past weekend.
Multiple
to prepare,
major
but,
finals in doubles and his won matches and singles. And
so are you saying more accomplished as a player in their respective sport?
Yeah. Lori Corbelli was an Olympian, in volleyball, and that obviously. But there aren't many.
No.
And what I'm telling you, like, if for those of you that don't know, look up Steve Denton, A&M's men's tennis coach. It's pretty remarkable what he did.
So this is Krejcik's first Grand Slam title in his career. It moves him up to the world ranking of #1 in doubles.
Wow.
Now, Olin and I were talking. It's a little weird. Krejcik's partner is not also ranked #1. He has a different rank. So it's individual rankings despite being partners. During his time at Texas A&M, Krejcik, class of 2011, a 4-time doubles All-American from 2008 through 2011, a 2-time singles All-American his junior and senior season, the 2008 Big 12 Freshman of the Year, the 2010 and 2011 Big 12 Player of the Year, and in 2011, Krejcik and Jeff Dadamo won Texas A&M men's tennis first national title when they won the men's doubles championship.
Yeah, Aggie legend, and now making big moves. And I watched a little bit of that final yesterday with the Joker.
Yeah,
we got double Jokers right now. It's the June of the Joker.
Well, you've just come up with something, Billy.
Should I tweet that?
You should.
It's the June of the Joker.
Well, you got to wait until
it's a Joker
possibly
June.
Until tonight.
It'll be tonight.
You think it'll be tonight? And do you think he's Finals MVP?
I don't know. Booker's long since forgotten. Murray's killing it too.
And I got to give a shout out to the dueling banjos in the back. Cade and Brighton taught me everything I know about NBA basketball and the NBA Finals this morning. So great job, guys.
Zane, that sounds a lot like what you do.
Well, I don't watch basketball
when it comes to baseball and hockey.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
I tell you everything you need to know.
I
about
think
the NHL.
that's badass for Krejcik. It really is, and you know, Sammy Bennett made another cut. It's two tournaments, 2 cuts
finish.
he's made, and a top 20 finish. So he's off to a nice start. He's got the U.S. Open this weekend, so we'll all be dialed in again. I actually thought about going to that. I wish it wasn't in L.A. I've got.
Dude, I'll be out there this weekend.
Are you really? What are you doing? A Dodger weekend?
Yeah, me and my sister are going to see Dodgers Giants. But if TexAgs wants to cover some of my trip, I'll go out to L.A. Country Club.
This is where you guys. Let me say this. You guys in this company. This is what's wrong with them. They're always thinking about getting an extra dime when it's like the real thing to do would be like, hey, I'm out. Hey, I'm going to say that it's not you. It's everyone in this building should listen all the way up to like the older crew that's been here forever. You just go and then you say, hey, I'm here. If you can get me some kind of credential, I'd love to go do some coverage of that. And then you build up goodwill, and then you go, man, how about Zane out in L.A. and just volunteered to go get us some content from the U.S. Open. And, oh, by the way, he got to be credentialed and be at the U.S. Open.
That'd be dope.
But instead, y'all are just worried about like getting a little of your trip paid for.
I'm
joking with you.
No,
but
I know
you guys listening. That's the culture thing here.
I wish I had not been so ignorant, stupid in planning this trip. I just saw it was Dodgers Giants at Dodger Stadium. I'm gonna go.
Sounds amazing.
I should have looked up because I knew the U.S. Open
was
was
gonna dogs you gonna eat?
Like a lot.
3 a game.
Probably more.
Yeah.
Dodger dogs are good. But anyways, the point is, I wish I had, because I knew the U.S. Open was being played at Los Angeles Country Club this year. I knew that. I wish I had looked up the weekend because Los Angeles and California already expensive to go to. Hotel prices are insane.
I'll bet.
Not fun. Time for another break. When we come back, we'll talk some college baseball.
Let's go.
Plenty of stuff to talk about there with 6 tickets already being punched to Omaha. 2 more will be punched later this evening. He's Billy Liucci. I'm Richard Zane. This is TexAgs Radio presented by David Gardner's Jewelers.
We are going. Are you ready? The Zone 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. When we get tired, we play harder.
It's time. Here we go! Let's go!
Summer is the perfect time to enjoy the great outdoors, and what better way than a picnic? But why settle for just a picnic when you can add some fun and creativity to it with Epicures? From the backyard picnic, the neighborhood gathering, family reunion, company party, or pool party, Epicures has you covered. Fajita fiesta with all of the sides, a nacho blowout including beans and rice, or a grilled get-together with burgers, hot dogs, and chicken. The food is just the beginning. Choose an alcoholic or non-alcoholic bar, dessert bar, and of course the lawn games. Epicures can bring croquet, bocce ball, cornhole, horseshoes, giant Jenga, and even water balloons. This summer, let Epicures help you with your summer picnic. The possibilities are endless. Contact Epicures to book your summer picnic today at epicuresexperience.com. epicuresexperience.com.
The flagship station for Aggie Athletics is The Zone. Whenever the Aggies are playing, you can hear them right here at 1150 and 93.7 FM. Thanks to our listeners and Aggie broadcast sponsors, Schulte Roofing, Gulf States Toyota, Hargrove Insurance, and Twin Peaks. Here's a big gig 'em to all these sponsors. Listen to Aggie Athletics on The Zone 1150 and 93.7 FM.
Ground Shuttle is the Brazos Valley's premier transportation provider, well known for frequent and reliable rides to the Houston airports. Did you know that Ground Shuttle also offers private car service and charter service? For game day or any day, you can book any vehicle in their fleet to accommodate your group size and needs, from luxury sedans to full-size shuttles. It's the hassle-free way to get your group to sporting events and concerts, corporate meetings and dinners, and evening out, and the airport too. Learn more at groundshuttle.com. Ground Shuttle, let us do the driving.
Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, and Max Kellerman.
The fact that you think that all mac and cheese is the same because it's cheese.
No, I never said
conversation
that.
was around?
Never said that.
You essentially said that, Max. Because
Never.
You said,
I'm not arguing some mac and cheese is way better than others. I'm saying the worst mac and cheese is a soggy noodle with cheese on it. I'll still tear that up.
I'm not eating that.
All right, so that's you.
You're saying if you're hungry, and you saw a horrible piece of mac and cheese, and you know it's not going to be good, you'll still eat it.
Because not good is relative. Not as good as good mac and cheese, obviously. Do you think noodles taste good by themselves, yes or no? Because I think, they're pretty good. They're not the best thing ever. They're pretty good. Do I think melted cheese is good? Yes, I do. You put them together, even if it's all jacked
That's
up
not
compared
mac
to
and
official
cheese,
mac
though.
and cheese, I'll still eat it.
But that's not mac and cheese, man. That's some Velveeta slices put into a damn oven. Nobody's eating that.
Mornings 5 to 8 on Sports Radio 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. Powered by WC Tractor.
Working on a night moves, trying to make some front page driving news. Working on a night move in the summertime. In the sweet summertime.
Night Moves coming back. Billy Liucci, Richard Zane inside the Rollo Insurance Studio. It's TexAgs Radio presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. Billy, 6 teams have already punched their ticket to Omaha. Florida will be there. LSU will be there out of the SEC. TCU's going back, first time under Kirk Sarloos. Virginia as well. Forget who else. Oral Roberts, that's the third 4 seed in NCAA history to make it to Omaha, and then the number 1 overall seed, Wake Forest, Demon Deacons.
They just, what they did, the knot they put on Greg Byrne and Alabama's head is something.
That game yesterday. How about this?
22 how many home runs they hit?
So
7,
they
5?
Combined for 13. Wake hit 9.
9. That was what it was.
They beat Alabama 22-5. It's the second most runs scored in a super regional game in NCAA history. Do you know the most runs scored in a single NCAA super regional game?
I'm sure it involves A&M.
It does. Game 2 of the 2011 Tallahassee Super Regional. The Florida State Seminoles beat A&M.
Seminoles?
Seminoles. 23-9. But
and A&M won that region.
Game 3, Michael Walker, 11-2.
Yep. A&M won that super. That was a super regional.
Yep,
right?
they won Game 3 and punched ticket.
Listen, I'm interested in Texas Stanford tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Stanford said screw it last night, and they pitched Jordan Matthews for 150 pitches. I know everybody cringes at that. I think it's either or. Like, it's just something for everyone to have an opinion of with these pitchers. That kid could be done pitching in 2 years, and he'll have that memory for the rest of his life. Like, I don't think he's like a projected. What was he? 19th round pick.
He was 19th round last year.
Sometimes
I think he's helped his draft stock a lot this year.
Sometimes,
he's
though,
pitcher
you
of the
say,
year.
I want to win, and I want to get my team to Omaha, and I want to win on the big stage, and I want to win a championship. And it doesn't guarantee that he's going to screw up his arm by pitching like that. Factually, that's not true.
He did the same thing last weekend on 2 different days, right? He pitched
and that's
114 pitches against San Jose State, then came back and 66 more against A&M.
You do know, you wonder about a cumulative effect. I don't even know what the data says about that if you're doing it over the span of 2 weeks. It doesn't feel like it would be helpful, but I don't know. I'm just like, let the dude do what he wants to do. If the family and the kid and the coaches, like, let him go. Big game tonight. Look, I think that's a coin flip game. The irony if Texas goes up there and does exactly what A&M did, and that they ridiculed and ripped and laughed about, is to lose 2 out of 3 to Stanford. So, and Texas team is playing good ball right now, and so is Stanford. I'm looking forward to that game. I'm looking forward to Tennessee and Southern Miss just because of all the trash Tennessee talks and how they thought they were so above going and playing there. And it was such an offense that they got the Supers and not Tennessee. If Tony Vitello doesn't, I've seen a lot of it.
Yikes.
So if I don't know if it's like the players or coaches, but it's just their fan base.
Oh, you forget that the Tennessee Volunteers invented college baseball in 2022.
If Tennessee Tony and the Vols don't make it to Omaha 2 years in a row after what happened last year, on one hand, I'd like to see the SEC with 3, because you're going to go if 10 went and only 2 advanced to Omaha. That ain't the best. It's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world, but it still would be a talking point. So I'd love to see 3, and after 4 went last year, but I'd also wouldn't mind seeing Tennessee lose. TCU.
Incredible
easiest
run.
path, and they're playing good ball. So I'm not going to – they might go win the whole thing. I think if Stanford got in there, they could win the whole thing.
I think TCU you say easiest path. I think TCU had the easiest super.
I wouldn't say the easiest path. I meant the easiest path with the supers.
Yes.
Like to get not only Indiana State, which come on now, I don't care what – it's a great story, but of the 16 regional hosts, if you could pick one – and then you get to go, and because of the Special Olympic deal, you get to play them in Fort Worth. You get them at home. I mean, look, A&M was blessed with that when they got Davidson.
Yes.
After but Davidson upset North Carolina, who I think might have been the 1 seed that year, 2 seed.
The 2.
So you had to play. You were set to play the 2 seed. So obviously you hosted. The way things fell into place for TCU there. And they did have to go beat Arkansas, a team that A&M got swept by. But I also believe that Arkansas was certainly more vulnerable than they've been in seasons past. But TCU clubbed them.
Destroyed them in Fayetteville.
TCU is rolling right now into Omaha. And I
think they're 19-2 in their last 21
Well,
games.
they clubbed their way through the Big 12 tournament. They clubbed their way through the Arkansas, the regional in Fayetteville, and then they drew Indiana State. Here's the deal. They could go win it. They could make a run. I think them, Wake, and if Stanford gets in, those would be the 3 teams, I would say. And then LSU sitting there, you go, man, if
no love for Florida? Florida
I underestimated
looked wildly impressive this weekend.
I underestimated them. I predicted the South Carolina upset, and the top half of this thing, even if Texas gets in, I think the top half of that would be strong. But here's the deal. TCU and Oral Roberts, how funny is it that if I would have told you last year when A&M hosted a regional that 2 of these 4 teams next year will be back in Omaha, I think you'd have said A&M and Louisville and not thought twice. Instead, it's TCU and Oral Roberts. So that was a strong Louisville and the Supers. But that was a strong regional that A&M had. Now, when you think Oral Roberts, the Raging Cajuns, and TCU, and then they went on and played Louisville. So if you said of those 4 opponents, including A&M, those 5 teams, a couple of them are going to go to Omaha, I would have certainly gone Louisville probably 1, A&M 2. Louisville doesn't even make the postseason. A&M, gets knocked out in the regional final.
So you were talking about if TCU doesn't win today, and it's only 2 from the SEC after getting 10 in, and people might take their shots at the SEC. How about this? How about this? If Tennessee wins today, it will be 7 different SEC programs to advance to Omaha in the last 2 seasons, and
7 out of 16.
9 in the last 3 years. Even if they don't get there, it's
9 of
6
14.
or 8 of
with
14.
2 national championships and potentially counting. I mean, you mentioned Florida. There's LSU. I don't think Tennessee has what it takes to win that thing this year. I certainly think Florida and LSU do. If either of them can get through there and win it, you could be looking at 3 straight national champs coming out of the conference as well.
And how about this? And
3 of the final 4 teams last year too. Don't forget that.
And how about this note? In their last 3 trips through the NCAA tournament, everybody's least favorite ball club, the Texas Longhorns, has not had to face an SEC team in the regionals or super regional rounds.
Really?
In 3 straight seasons.
That's fascinating. Really interesting
How
how
about
that works, right?
Yep.
Now, they could have this year. A&M didn't hold up there, but
A&M did not.
But it was set up for them not to. Stanford was a pretty big favorite to come out of their region,
and they showed why in games 6 and 7 of that region.
No question, and playing at home.
Yep.
So,
all right, one more segment here on a Monday show.
I will say this: if Texas gets to the World Series by beating Stanford and Miami, it's a little different than what I've seen them have to do in the recent past, including beat East Carolina. Or things like that. They've had another 1 or 2 of them that have been recently that have been pretty. I'm going, all right. But this one, if they go through Miami at Coral Gables and Stanford
National
at Palo
powers,
Alto,
yeah.
you give a thumbs up and you say, best of luck to you. You earned it.
Yep. One more segment here on this Monday edition of TexAgs Radio. Billy Liucci, more with him in the Rallo Insurance Studio on the other side.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on the Zone. Voices for Children is hosting its annual back-to-school clothing drive to provide children in foster care new clothes and backpacks. Visit vfcbrazos.org for more information on the Shop for Casa back-to-school drive. United Way of the Brazos Valley invites you to take part in its upcoming Day of Action. Help assemble 1,500 baby bundles for local newborns the morning of Wednesday, June 21st at SOS Ministries. Find more information and sign up at uwbv.org.